Range Entertainment is a professional entertainment company providing a full range of services, from professional disc jockeys and MCs to catering and photography. When the details of your special day must be perfect, call us first. Wedding receptions, corporate parties, school functions, birthday celebrations, and more. We also have Birmingham's largest selection of karaoke tracks available. With over 40 years combined experience, Full Range Entertainment can provide you with the talent and professionalism you need and deserve to make your next event one you'll never forget. For more information on the full range of services we offer, call 533-HITS, that's 533-HITS, or check us out on our website at fullrangeentertainment.com.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, liftoff.
Welcome to Beyond Ringside Sunday night. 24 till the top of the hour, live in the Full Range Entertainment Studios in beautiful Birmingham, Alabama. You want it, you got it, let's play. Fast Eddie Lane behind the control panel, welcoming in tag team partners Mark and Mabo Bowman.
Yeah, hold on. I got to get the Joker chemical barrels.
Like to welcome in tag team partner, the Oracle of Ominous, the Wicked Nemesis.
Do you feel in charge? Do you now?
Really? In charge of what? That's a movie. Say what now?
That's a Gotham City.
Yeah, there you go. Hey, he killed the Joker. All right. Now, Mabel, of course.
No, that was actually Olsen, or Mary-Kate Olsen. Oh, too soon?
As long as we're not making Garrett Reed comments right now. I just got that memo a few minutes ago. The son of. Go ahead.
That's bad. I'm glad you. First of all, I want to give my condolences to the Domestic Terrorism Act that just took place in Wisconsin today.
I just saw that too.
That is absolutely horrible. As Mitt Romney said, Mitt Romney is a Mormon, and for him to say it, he said it best. Nobody in a religious sanctuary, because that's what it's supposed to be, should have to worry about terrorism. And that's what this is. Once again, we talked about this, after Aurora. This is domestic terrorism. Once again, terrorizing these poor people, obviously because they're different than us.
Yes.
Who's to say that their ancient alien is better than our ancient alien? Not me.
That's why I subscribe to the Temple of the Jedi. Or actually more.
Hey, a big shout out really quick to GCW. I want Aiden Solo to tell his uncle Han I said hello.
And he still can't have the vest back.
Eddie refuses to give back the vest.
You're damn right I do. You caught that one. Thank you. Very nice.
We've been saying that for years.
No, I've only said you can't have the vest once.
Oh yeah, no, but I'm just saying we've been saying for years that you stole Han Solo's vest.
It was a gift, and the
Solo vest looks exactly like it.
It was a gift, and the Force is with me. Thank you, Leia.
What'd you do? Win it in a freaking game of Sabek or something? Yep, I just out-nerded both of you.
I did not let the Wookiee win.
That's Bantha fodder right there. Can I say that? I can say that because that's not technically cursing,
Yeah, there you go.
Not in this galaxy.
In this galaxy, it's not. There you go. BeyondRingside.com, of course, the official website address, and we're working on getting the updates done as quickly as possible. Thank you to everybody who has been tuning in over the last week to the best of Beyond Ringside 24/7. Player is available through BeyondRingside.com. Facebook.com/Beyond Ringside Live. Run it all together. That is the Facebook fan page. We have still got over 5,500 people on the friends page. Don't ask me how. With 1,200 people waiting on the friends list, and Facebook will not let me say okie dokie to anybody else on that. So
yeah, I don't see with half the crap we say on the show. I don't see how we have 5 friends, let alone 5,500 friends.
Yeah, I know it.
Eddie, Wicked. This just in. Oh my God! Breaking news. I just picked up a Prometheum box on DC Universe Online. Very rare items that drop. You never know what's in them. Let's open it up and see what it is. Probably something crap. Oh, shoot, I don't have any Prometheum keys.
Oh, crap.
That's okay. I can buy some Prometheum keys. We're going to buy some Prometheum keys, and we're going to find out what it is. Eddie, you guys vamp until we find out what mystery is inside the Prometheum box.
Not a problem.
And Wicked plays this game, so he can attest to not everybody gets a Prometheum box all the time.
I've never had one.
See?
One of these days, I'm going to have to buy the damn game. Of course, one of these days, I'm going to have to buy an updated video gaming system. I don't know.
Well, I mean, if you get the PS3, it is free to download. It's free to download it on a computer, but you can only get 2 spots.
Okay.
I'll come over and I'll teach you how to play.
Yeah, that would be kind of hard because I'm still running on a PS2 right now. I do not have a PS3, an Xbox 360, or any of the other.
We can do it on your PC.
Oh, that works.
Wicked can attest. He has his game on his PC.
Yes, I do.
Works for
me.
Speaking
of PCs, and let's talk about politically correctness for a second. If you are running a seminar and you put somebody's name on top of it, make sure they're the ones running the seminar.
Yeah, really.
Not Cassidy Riley and Chase Stevens, which I love those 2 guys. They did a phenomenal job. But I'm talking about the Bret Hart seminar that took place in Nashville at the fairgrounds. Now, these guys paid $150 to go and do this seminar. There were about 40 guys there.
Really? Nice.
Now, the thing about it is that there were some guys there that obviously didn't need to be there. They had been in this business for some time. Now, I don't understand the whole meaning to this. I kept asking everybody, what do you mean to get from this? And I think a lot of people were doing it just to hang out with Bret Hart, to be honest.
Of course.
Now, Joey Sartain, we put up a video, and he put it, nicely. He said that he actually learned something because it reminded him to go back to the basics. And, and it helped him, build on some of the basics and reiterated some of the things that needed to be told. You know how I am with the guys I manage and the guys I hang around with. I'm on their ass constantly about getting better. I nitpick, but that's my job. These guys do not need it. Damon Taz, Chris Knox, Colin Michael and Pandora, Joey Sartain, even Tasha. Tasha Simone, these people, they don't need somebody to blow smoke up their ass. They need somebody to say, hey, this is what you did wrong, and I saw how to correct it by doing this.
Right.
Now, Bret Hart went up there, and he talked for 3 hours. The problem was he never got in the ring. He just talked.
Right.
Cassidy Riley, the VIP, who a lot of GCW listeners will know, from Birmingham, Pell City. Chase Stevens, who everybody knows from TNA/Impact, and also GCW fans are very familiar with him. Went in there and busted their butts. Went in there and actually made a few guys quit, which was good because that's what this business needs. Yeah. Not everybody needs to be in this business.
Nope.
Now, here's what happened. There was a lady, and I'm going to call her name's Lakeisha. She was up front. She tells me, are both of you guys in the seminar? I'm dressed with the mohawk, dressed casual. No, I'm not. I'm just here with Sartain, And she's like, oh, well, you have to pay $10 to hang out.
What?
I said, excuse me? She said, yeah, you have to pay $10. I told her, I am not a mark. I'm a veteran in this business. I've been in this business long enough to know that that's disrespectful. And I looked at everybody there. By that time, there was about 20 people. I said, no offense to you guys, I'm not paying to hang out here. And it's disrespectful for you to ask me that. And she said, how long have you been in this business? I told her 6.5 years. She laughed and said, oh, you're green behind the ears. I've been in this business 13 years. Now, being somebody's wife, taking tickets, walking to the ring once a year, oh, I almost cussed, once a year, doesn't make you in this business.
No, it does not.
Makes you a wife or a ring rat. One of the two. A ring rat is somebody who has sexual encounters with any wrestler. Okay? To me, when that lady told me that, I looked her dead in their face. I wanted to rip her face off. I told her I was lucky enough that this business gave me an opportunity to be able to work the first 3 solid years in this business every Thursday, every Friday, every Saturday, and some Sundays and some Wednesdays. I was lucky enough. Maybe not even luck. The fact I busted my ass and took bookings that some people wouldn't take just to learn because I was green, because I was getting in this business. My 6.5 years on the independent scene makes me seem like I've been in this business 25 years. Because there's guys out there, and you guys know this, they have 1 show a week, if that. There's some people that work once a month and try to call themselves workers. And then people get mad and get their panties in a bunch when they're told you're not workers. And I tell everybody to their face, you're not a worker. There's a difference. Case in point, a guy named Vic the Bruiser last night went out and cut a promo on Tasha Simone. It was okay. She went out, said a few things, and went to the back. At the end of the main event, first of all, this ass clown goes in there and grabs his belt off in the middle of a battle royal and starts hitting people. We've seen this once before. Anybody that follows the show at the Will Grayson Memorial, when Spitfire Tommy Johnson actually broke Pretty Boy Floyd's nose because Pretty Boy was doing the same thing. And these quote-unquote veterans take liberties with these, what they consider green guys. Anybody that calls a spot in the middle of a ring, it's like these guys that bring in a ladder in the middle of a steel cage match. As if the steel cage isn't weapon enough, let's throw a ladder in it. Stupid. This Vic the Bruiser guy goes out there and then starts calling our NWA Women's World Champion. Now, September 8th, that may change. Colin Michael Bomb Pandora is taking the title. But goes out there and calls our NWA Women's World Champion, not a lady, not a diva, not a knockout. Starts calling her, I don't know if I can say the word, a female that has very many sexual encounters. And then starts saying that she's, quote-unquote, laying, quote-unquote, with one of her tag team partners, one of the guys she manages, Eric Andrews. There's a certain line you cross. And the fact that all these idiots always, it's like, if a guy and girl are together in the business, it's all of a sudden they're sleeping together. And this is what he says. He goes out and says this in a family show. He was told 4 times by Mike Searcy, 4 times, and by Scott Barry twice, it's a family show. And then it got to the point to where he was insulting by being like, well, I heard she's open like 24/7 like Waffle House. Oh, but this is a family show. He does this 5 times. Now, I want my big sister, the NWA Women's World Champion, Tasha Simone, at 100% when Colin Michael Bomb beats her. I don't want any excuses. So I made myself out to the ring, walked out there, and made sure that this did not get out of hand. I don't like Vic. The fans support Colin Michael Bomb Pandora and myself. But you cannot run down a champion. You cannot run down a woman and say what he did. And then goes to the back and says, I'm done. I'm done. Because you went out there on your own and ran down a woman and called her all types of vile names, and somebody stood up for her, and now all of a sudden you want to be the victim? No, no, no. And it's things like that. These guys get mad. They get their panties in a bunch when they said, hey, you did something wrong. Oh, well, I'm leaving. Good. Get out. Get out. We don't need you. That's the NWA Women's World Champion that you're talking to. And in fact, that she's a mother. And on top of that, that's somebody's kid. And you're out there talking to them like that. This is not needed. When there's people that are as great as Tasha Simone, and you guys know this, they don't need heat from some babyface who has no idea what he's doing. Mabo, you and I have had this conversation before. We've had this conversation about babyfaces that put themselves over and bury the guy that they're against. It makes no sense. And I wish you guys would have been there, because this is the one point I point to. That's outlaw.
Yeah.
What Vic Bruiser did is outlaw. And he wants to be considered a vet. Screw him. And everybody like him. Every single one of you. And to this Lakeisha lady, I guarantee you this, the girl's never trained before in her life, because she was 300 pounds. 300 pounds. 13 years in the business. Get out of my face. You've been taking tickets and tearing ticket stubs for 5 years maybe. And the promoter, Marcus, whatever his name is, at Crossfire, whatever the hell he does, he's a piece of trash. I made him shake my hand because he wanted to kayfabe everybody, because he thinks, and probably rightfully so, that everybody that signed up for that seminar is a mark. That's not me. I told him, I said, you're crazy. I told Hammerjack, who I know through Tasha Simone, I said, y'all are crazy if y'all think I'm paying for this. It's disrespectful. So I left, and I threw my hand in Marcus's face because he didn't want to shake him by his hand. I said, in this business, we shake hands first off. So before you can make any excuse and say you're busy, how about you shake my hand? Enoch. I threw my hand in his face. He said, what did they do? They call you Nucky for short? I said, no, they call me Wicked for long. I sure did. And I do not care. It's people like that. People like that who think that they're better than anybody because you work a show with Shane Douglas, because you have some money mark backing you. If there wasn't some guy trying to get a tax write-off in Nashville, that place wouldn't even exist.
Right.
Cross is a tax write-off by some guy who has some money to throw around. You know what that is? That means you're working for a mark, guys. I hope you can look yourselves in the mirror.
Oh, they
because
can.
nobody else can, and nobody cares about you.
Dude, Wicked, with all due respect, I have to say it like this, and that's another one for the best of real. You have people in this industry who don't give a rat's ass about the business in and of itself because of the fact that they're making a paycheck because they've got a mark backing them up. And I've often said one of the worst things that can happen in this business is to be backed by a mark with money. I mean, okay, it's an understandable thing for somebody with money to want to get into professional wrestling because they were a fan of this business as a kid. That means you marked out for this business as a kid. But when you get the money and start backing the promotion, the one thing that you need to do is learn the business. I've always said this. If you're going to delve into this business, no matter how you get into it, find a way to learn the business. Because you can't respect it until you learn it. You can't respect it until you know it. Sitting back writing checks does not make you a real wrestling promoter. Yeah, it makes you somebody who's going to hand out money, which everybody appreciates, and we all work for that money. But by the same token, I don't care who you are in this business, and this is something that I've said ad nauseum to a great degree. I don't give a flying damn who you think you are in this business. Nobody is above respect for this business. I don't care if I'm not going to call out names because I'm not going to start playing the brash card. I'm not going to play the overly arrogant card. So to overstuffed miss 13 years in the business, my ass. I've been in this industry for over 25 years, and you know something? One, I respect this business because the first thing that I do when I get there, other than set up, because normally I'm running a couple of minutes behind schedule, which means I'm unloading my van and I'm bringing in audio equipment, I'm bringing in a PA rig, and as I am doing that, I have an opportunity, shake hands, how's it going, good to see you, glad to meet you. If I don't know the person, I make it a point to find a way to introduce myself. If they don't do it first, if they're new in the locker room that I am working, they should be the one to say, ooh, okay, he's bringing in sound equipment. Either he's the announcer or he's a technician. Guess what? I'm still going to end up working with him, so I need to introduce myself to him. Hello, mentality. Are we not using it anymore? Common sense is so uncommon, especially in the world of professional wrestling. Now, if this Vic the Bruiser is the same Vic the Bruiser that I worked with out in North Carolina, I will say this, that's shocking as hell that he would pull something like that.
Is it a black guy with dyed blonde hair, blonde goatee like Rikishi?
Yeah.
That's
damn,
him.
that really.
He almost got his heart ripped out last night.
That really scares me because I've met Vic. I worked with Vic up at Power Pro in North Carolina with Dick Foley, Jim Fox in charge. And that doesn't sound like something that Vic would do, and I don't know why. But by the same token, I don't care if the person's a rook in this business. I don't care if this person is a multi-time world champion in this business. If you've got an issue with an individual, you call them to the side and you talk it over like responsible adults and professionals should in this business. Don't start shooting off your mouth and running down somebody. Save that for shows like this after you've realized the fact that you've effed up. But by the same I'm just going to say it plain and simple. Vic, dude, really bad form. Really bad form, Peter Pan.
Bad form, Peter, bad form. But he had also called no show the last 2 weeks up there at Top Rope 2, come to find out.
Then I wouldn't have brought him in. I wouldn't have brought him back. Sorry.
And then they put him over. They put him over as the number one contender for Eric Andrews' title. I was like, man, y'all are some idiots, man. I would not. Let me tell you how. Now, this is kind of breaking kayfabe, but we filmed a video for Comic Con Pandora for September 8th in Tennessee for the NWA Women's World Championship. I asked him, I was like, hey, Vic, can you scoot over a little bit? He's like, what? He's like, can you scoot over so we can film this video? We're walking this way. And he would not move his bags and would not move out of the frame for us to film this video. Finally, I told him, I said, don't worry about it. I'll just cut his out of the video. And I said that, and I looked right at him. So he knew that he'd pissed me off by doing that. All we asked him to do was just move out of the way so we could cut a 1 and 30-second video. But he had that much disrespect that he wouldn't even do that. Wouldn't even get out of the way. Man, you're 450 pounds. You might want to walk just a tad. And if you're blowing up and giving a drop kick, maybe you don't need to do drop kicks. Better yet, maybe you need to take your bags out back and burn them.
Mabo, you've been real quiet throughout all this. What's your perspective, and what do you think?
I think that I got to get these cops out of the cage, or the Joker's going to kill them.
He's still playing DC Universe, kids. Now,
yes, but no. I am listening. I mean, I'm not completely. Let me get in the corner here so I don't get killed. Wicked knows what I'm talking about. That's what's awesome. I mean, Eddie, you know how many times have I been backstage with you bringing in equipment and everything, and I mean, I'm not even in the damn business, but geez, I try to shake hands with everybody. You know, if we make eye contact or whatever. I mean, I do feel a little bit awkward, back there because I'm not part of the locker room. But if I see somebody, I'm like shake hands, I'm like if they come over there and introduce themselves to you, and then they kind of look at me like, and I look back, and I will extend my hand and be like, hey, Mabo, I'm part of the thing, or do the thing and the stuff and the stuff and the thing. It's common courtesy above all else. I mean, it's like if you extract the whole, part of the locker room, going in the locker room, respect for the business, it's just common courtesy. If you go to somebody's house and there's people you don't know there, you shake their hand.
Yep.
Introduce yourself. So, there's not that awkward, are you a serial killer kind of mentality going on. 9 times out of 10, I mean, at where I work, when somebody new comes in, I don't shake their hands because I don't like, it's not a disrespecting. I just don't like touching people's hands. I'll fist bump or whatever, or give them the what's up. I just have issues shaking hands because I don't know where their hands have been, but I know where mine have been. It's either on my crotch, on my ass, or in my nose. So it's just safety for them because we know I'm a walking toxic dump. But it's just, like I said, it's out of respect for humanity, period. I mean, I know humanity's going into a downward spiral, and we're all going to die in a couple months anyway. The Earth's going to split open, and my worst fear, other than mayonnaise, is we're all going to fall into lava and burn up. So at least try to be nice and don't be a douchebag. Try to give yourself some redeeming qualities.
Yeah.
So you know what? For those of you who want to be douches and not shake hands, this is for everybody in the business in the locker room, all of the boys, quote unquote, and by the boys also mean the ladies too. Shake hands, introduce yourself, try to be respectful. Don't try to be respectful, be respectful. If somebody is filming something, show them the same respect that you would like if you were filming something. And especially, and this just goes without saying, if you've been in the business, shorter than a sneeze, find the veterans of that locker room.
Yep.
Talk to them. Pick their brain, especially if they're established veterans. Those who've been in the business 10, 15, 20 years, who've been on TV, who've been with major companies, who've toured other countries. Be respectful, but pick their brains. Ask their opinions. Don't sit there and say, hey, can you watch my match? Because I'm sure they get that everywhere they go. Hey, can you watch my match? Hey, can you watch my match? They got more important things. They've got wads of money to count. So instead of that, be like, hey, I would like to ask your opinion on this, or what advice can you offer me on this, that, and the other. That's how I see it.
Well,
and now I'm going to go back to rescuing the police officers.
Now, see, for me, real quick, before we go to the top of the hour break, normally, under normal circumstances, a lot of longtime listeners know the company with which I work primarily here in Alabama, and that's Global Championship Wrestling. We have a monitor set up in the back for everybody to be able to watch. And it's in a common area. So if you're not working on something, if you're not getting, stretched out, so to speak, if you're not stretching in preparation for your match, it is encouraged, and actually we normally have 3 monitors, one in the common area, one in one dressing room, one in the other locker room, and you can always run a jumper off that monitor if you want to watch it in another locker room too. But by the same token, it would help you as a professional to be able to watch one of those monitors if you have one set up in a locker room. Number one, that way you don't have 2, 3, 4, 5 straight matches where your primary is going to be a top wrist lock, or a side wrist lock, or a hammer lock. or a Randy Orton hammerlock, or a side headlock. If you're running the worst thing that you can do is run the exact same opening sequence or try the opening offense that's been done in the match before you. Because fans will get tired of that at the drop of a hat. Wicked, you know this for a fact. Mabo, you know this for a fact. How many times have we gone to other shows and we'll sit back and watch match number 2 and they're doing the exact same offensive sequence, or they're attempting for the same offense as the previous match?
Every time. That's a common thing, because people don't pay attention, as you said, to the matches before them. And you know what? And nobody says anything to them. They don't know. I mean, if you don't tell the guy what they're doing wrong, they don't know what they're doing wrong. They don't know unless you tell them. And that's the veteran's job, to be like, hey, kid, why don't you watch the match before you, or the promoter said, because as we all know, before most shows, the promoter, the booker will get everybody together and say, hey, this is that, this is what we need, this is that. And it's their job as well to do that. It should be theirs first, but the other veterans should take it upon themselves and not wait for the promoter to tell them, be like, hey, kid, why are you over here listening to your iPod? You should be watching the match before you, because you're next.
Yeah.
And it's the same thing also about doing the same people's finish. Let's say somebody has a DDT on that card. Well, you end up using the DDT as a double down, which you should not, but it happens. Or a cutoff. A DDT should never be a cutoff. A DDT is a DDT. It should be the finish.
Yeah.
But it happens. But they don't take the time. They don't take the time. That's why they'll never be workers. They'll always be just wrestlers at the best.
That leads me into something that I want to discuss a little bit more in depth. And I tell you what, we're going to take the top of the hour break. We'll be back in 5 right here on Beyond Ringside.
Dave, what are you doing?
Just sending a gift to Dave 2037.
Who?
Me in the future. I save a little money from every paycheck for Dave 2037 so he can buy anti-gravity boots or a hologram Doberman. What are you getting Steve 2037?
Steve 2037 will be just fine.
Well, okay, but don't expect to borrow my anti-gravity boots.
Save something for the future. Put away a few bucks, feel like $1 million. For free ways to save, go to feedthepig.org. That's feedthepig.org.
This message brought to you by the American Institute of Certified Public Accountants and the Ad Council.
This is Awesome Austin Creed, the smartest man in this industry called pro wrestling, the valedictorian of this business. You are locked in to Beyond Ringside.
While cutting molding with a 12-inch dual compound miter saw, while holding a newborn baby in your arms, when face-to-face with a congregation of alligators, with the ball in your hands and the entire freaking season on the line.
There are a million places you'd never consider texting, so why would you do it while driving? NASCAR driver Casey Kane here, asking you to please stop the text, and together we can stop the wrecks.
Brought to you by the Ad Council and the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration. Get the message at stoptextstopwrecks.org.
This is Gabe Sapolsky from Dragon Gate USA and Evolve Pro Wrestling, and you're locked into Beyond Ringside.
Hey, what's up? Holla at ya, boy. XOXOXO. You getting these texts? Question mark. Where are you? What are you doing? OMG, you are making me mad. You better text me back. I'm waiting outside your house.
Relentless, aggressive texting is like sending an angry robot to deliver your message. When does the robot become dangerous? Let us know at that'snotcool.com.
That'snotcool.com.
Brought to you by the Ad Council.
This is Jim Cornette. You are locked into the show of all time, Beyond Ringside.
Remember when your neighbor found us naked in the car, and the time some outdoor action got us kicked out of the park, getting frisky in the dark. I gave your eye a poke. Think the dog is in the bed too. I smell smoke. You and me, we never give up. You and me, we never ever ever give up. Dressing in the kitchen, then getting caught. So many things can go wrong, but we still can get it right. You and me, we're not gonna give up tonight.
You didn't give up on sex. Don't give up on birth control either. There are more methods than you think. Visit bedsider.org to compare all the choices and put the bogus myths to bed at bedsider.org.
Boy, we got options tonight.
Brought to you by Bedsider and the Ad Council. bedsider.org.
I'm Paul Ellering, and you're locked into Beyond the Ringside.
Let me try.
Okay, just remember what I showed you.
Yep, there was a bunny who had one big ear, and another big ear, They looped, made a bow, and the bunny hopped away. I did it!
Oh, good job, kiddo. Now let's tie your other shoe.
The smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life. Take time to be a dad today. Learn more at 1-877-4DAD-411 or visit fatherhood.gov.
Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
Listen up, this is the NWA North American Heavyweight Champion, the Temptation Sean Tempers, and right now, you are locked in with Beyond Ringside.
Hello, my name is Jeffrey, but people in this town call me Maniac. They call me that because I'm the fastest runner in town. But just because everyone knows who I am doesn't mean I belong. I don't really belong anywhere. You see, I'm an orphan, and I wander the streets just looking for a place that I can truly call home. My name is Maniac McGee, and I'm all alone. Explore new worlds. Read my story in the novel Maniac McGee by Jerry Spinelli. For other great book ideas, visit your local library or log on to literacy.gov. Brought to you by the Library of Congress and the Ad Council.
This is Ben Masters locking it down with Beyond Ringside. Don't miss it. Be there.
Confessions of a Potentially Perfect Parent, brought to you by AdoptUsKids.org.
I don't know how to talk like a parent. Don't make me come back there. You see what I mean? It's pretty awful. Try it again. Don't make me come back there. Now that's pretty good. That one kind of sounded like my dad. Weird.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. There are thousands of teens in foster care who would love to put up with you. Call 1-888-200-4005 or visit AdoptUsKids.org for more information. A message from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt Us Kids, and the Ad Council.
This is GCW's Senior Official Bernie Kowanowitz, and you are locked into Beyond Ringside.
Hi, this is Joe Perry and Steven Tyler of Aerosmith for Red. You know, it's okay to rock and roll and party down. Just don't get in that 2,000-pound bullet when you're done and cocked. And please don't drink and drive. I'm the one that jaded you.
A reminder that friends don't let friends drive drunk. A public service message brought to you by the Ad Council, U.S. Department of Transportation, National Association of Broadcasters, and RAD.
This is Bad Brad Armstrong, part of the famous Armstrong family of professional wrestling, and you're locked in to Beyond Ringside.
You must be your fairy godmother. Yes.
It doesn't take a fairy godmother to tell you that the right fit means everything.
Good heavens, child. You can't go in that.
Children under 4'9" need to be in a booster seat because they aren't ready for adult safety belts alone. Remember that 4'9" is the magic number, and get your little pumpkin there safely in a booster seat.
Oh, thank you.
For more information, visit boosterseat.gov. This has been a message from the U.S. Department of Transportation and the Ad Council.
This is Dale the Demon Torborg, and you're locked in to Beyond Ringside.
Welcome to the original Rockin' Wrestling Radio Show. Welcome to Beyond Ringside, your source for wrestling, MMA, and boxing in the Southeast. To contact the Ringside Roundtable of Beyond Ringside, email them at beyondringside@gmail.com. And now, your host for Beyond Ringside, the man, no myth, all legend, Fast Eddie Lane.
Thank you, Mike Macaroni, the cheesiest announcer in the business. Always happy to hear the dulcet tones of the cheesy one. Welcome into Beyond Ringside, live from the Full Range Entertainment Studios in beautiful Birmingham, Alabama. Welcoming in tag team partners Mark Mabo Boban.
Normally, I would enjoy getting screwed by a hot chick dressed like a clown. Not today, kids.
Wicked Nemesis, come on in.
First of all, I know that this will be uploaded to YouTube, so let's get this out of the way. Blogs, people, events, entertainment, sports, wrestling. That's a YouTube joke, sorry. I saw the words you can tag into the video.
There you go. Yeah, and actually that's an experiment that I've been working on lately because I found out that Ustream will allow us to do this, and so that vantage point is being taken advantage of to its fullest. So the Ustream feed is being fed over to YouTube, and Wicked said the second that he sees it shows up, he takes it over and works on some other stuff with it. So it's like, thank you, Wick, I appreciate it. So you can catch us.
I'll make sure that there's a link to BeyondRingside.com, a link to the Facebook fan page, because as you said earlier, you can no longer accept any friends to the friends page.
Right.
But guys, it's social media, and that's what we're all about. We're all about the fans. And the more fans that hear us, the more fans that hear Mabo beating the crap out of Harley Quinn, the better.
Yes. Now, speaking of beating the hell out of, I know that we've got a pay-per-view from Ring of Honor next Saturday. And then you've got TNA Impact Wrestling with the pay-per-view on Sunday. First thing I want to, so to speak, talk about or touch on, of course, you got it, Kevin Steen, Eddie Kingston, the Chikara Grand Champion, taking on the ROH World Champion. Now, Mabo, you've made the reference that you feel that ROH is getting a little bit on the predictable and or stale side over the last couple of episodes. I did catch this week, and the only downside that I have to ROH is yet another Prodigy Mike Bennett, Maria Kanellis, Brutal Bob Evans. Now, here's the thing. Don't laugh when I say this. I am perfectly okay with Brutal Bob Evans out there. Maria Kanellis, this has nothing to do with the lack of outfit that she wears, because God knows to me, I think she's still hot after all these years. Like it's really been that many. But I'm really just getting tired of the one-dimensional stature of Maria Kanellis on television. The Prodigy, great in the ring. Brutal Bob, cool as hell at ringside. I also feel the same way about Maria Kanellis as I feel about Truth Martini. I think that Truth Martini is way overexposed in ROH. And for managers, that is not good. I have a tremendous appreciation for managers because that's how I started out in this industry while I was training. But there comes a point where, it's expected, or you anticipate the point where the manager is going to interfere inside of a match. I don't think a manager should interfere in every match that they're involved in. I don't care. I mean, Wicked, you and I can agree to disagree on this, but by the same token, I don't care if it's Wicked Nemesis. I don't care if it's me in 1986. I don't care if it's Maria, Brutal Bob, Truth Martini. I don't care if it's the lawyer JJ, whatever it is, DJ, or whatever the lawyer's name is, or Prince Nana. It could be any other manager in this industry. A manager should not interfere in every match that they are a part of. Therefore, that curveball can be thrown. It's like, holy crap, the manager didn't interfere? Wow, I was wrong. I believe the manager should be a very visual and vocal presence. I believe that if you've got a performer who is not that great on the microphone, hell yes, if they are good in the ring, but not that great on the microphone, give them someone who can amplify their presence in the form of the right manager. But by the same token, now, I digressed from my original point. Gee, what a damn surprise. The ROH World Champion, the Chikara Grand Champion, one-on-one on the iPay-per-view next Saturday from Ring of Honor. First off, how cool is this that a former ROH personality, Eddie Kingston, goes on to Chikara, picks up the Grand Championship. Kevin Steen gets fired from ROH in the storyline, gets brought back into ROH, and goes straight to the world title. Personally, I'm digging the match idea. Personally, I'm really wanting to see the match. I'll start with Mabo. Your thoughts? First on the Steen-Kingston match.
Well, I can tell you right now, that junk's going to be stiffer than Eddie Lane on Viagra. I can tell you that much.
Eddie Lane doesn't take Viagra.
Running away! Run away! Sorry. But I think it's going to be awesome. I know they went at it one time, I want to say late last year, maybe early this year, in Chikara. Eddie Kingston won for the simple fact that Kevin Steen punched him in the junk, got himself disqualified. So, but honestly, I think it's going to be an epic battle. Definitely one of those that you don't want to miss, and it's something that it kind of goes to show that you don't. I said it last week. You don't have to, be some jacked up roid monkey. I mean, neither one of these guys are in the best shape of the world, but they can wrestle. They can go. So, like I said, I think it's going to be amazing. Is this one going to be? Oh crap! John Stamos is a superhero. Anyway, is this going to lead to some kind of Chikara invasion or Ring of Honor invasion? Probably not. This is just one of those, quote unquote deals where Cornette's bringing in somebody to stop Steen before the the investors banquet or the not investors. What do you call them things? Sponsors banquet or something that hell or high water Kevin Steen is going to be at, and Cornette doesn't want him to embarrass the company. So, I mean, I'm not going to say, but we can all guess kind of what's going to happen. Predictability. But that's a good kind of predictability for the simple fact that you know what's going to happen because it's going to lead to something big. They wouldn't have built this part of the storyline up just to stop it. They're not TNA. They don't stop mid storyline and go, okay, wait, hold on. We're going to make this guy a good guy now and forget everything you know before. Forgeticus, boom. So it's going to be an awesome, it's going to be an awesome match regardless of the outcome of the match or the storyline or this, that, and the other Bionic Wiggly.
I knew you were going to say that part. Wicked, your thoughts. Steen, Kingston.
Haven't we seen this before? Isn't it time for Smoky Mountain Wrestling, for Ring of Honor to stop force-feeding the same crap? Look, I'm all about continuity, and I agree with that. But you have enough talent on that card, besides managers, because there's not a talented manager on that card. They're all trash. You have so much talent in the world. You're supposedly the top. Chikara, one of the top independent promotions out there. I like Kevin Steen. I like the fact that he's fat. I like the fact the guy can go, so to speak. But he's not the most brutal and he's not the most technical. He's almost above average Mike Sanders in his title.
Snap.
Oh yeah, I said it. And his reign is over. And the investors banquet or sponsors banquet, anything, that's all. I like the storyline. Kudos. This Ring of Honor smells of Smoky Mountain Wrestling. That's exactly what it is. It is Smoky Mountain Wrestling. They might as well go ahead and be NWA Ring of Honor. Cornette has the same plan everywhere he goes. Now back to the managers, Eddie.
Okay.
The manager should not interfere in every match. You are 100% correct. I've been in 22 different promotions this year. It is now August 5th, right?
Yes.
2012.
Yes.
I have interfered 3 times. 3 times. I'm not talking about after the matches when I was setting people on fire at PWA or starting riots. Interfered where I put my hands on an opponent. You know why? Johnny Slaughter, Chris Knox, Calm Like a Bomb Pandora, Brian Blaze, Jeter, and even at one point, J-Rod, CJ Awesome, Crew Jones. These guys don't need that. They don't need somebody, and I hate it when one of these quote-unquote vets gets thrown to me and tries to feed themselves to me. If I punch you, what does it accomplish? The only time a manager should interfere is when it means something.
Yes.
And it's just like these managers, man. The Merchants of Death at one time had 6 people. 6 people. I was out there 2-3 times. That's way too much. Because what's going to happen to most people, of course not me, is you're going to start losing heat. Thank God that I'm blessed with the ability to make people hate me. Because of that, I could go out there 2 times and still get the same heat, even 3 times. But there's overexposure. But people don't see that because they're not real managers. They're wannabes. They're fakes. They're overrated valets. That's what most managers have become in this business. There's only one manager, and this is the God's honest truth, that I see their work and I'm like, yes, he gets it. Besides Jeff Bailey. And that's Caesar Black over in Territory League. You look at this. People hate to be told the truth. People hate when the quote-unquote bad guy, and that's circumstantial. I mean, it's just like, are you in favor of gun control? It depends on which end of the barrel you're on.
There you go.
And this good and bad scenario, you don't have to have bad guys. Guys don't have to cheat to win. When you're better, people hate you automatically. Hatred is born and bred at the very existence of this country. The very human DNA is filled with hatred. And it's built with vengeance and rage and jealousy and envy.
Cain and Abel.
And these guys go out there on Ring of Honor and they interfere every match. They choke, they knock down, and then they interfere 3 or 4 times. That's not managing. That's being a valet. That's why, when all the dust is settled, there's only one manager in this business that means something, and that's me. And that's the God's honest truth. And if you don't believe me, call the NWA and ask them. Ask them, of all the managers in this country that they could have to manage in a match, and I promise you, they're all going to say, Wicked Nemesis.
Because before I go to Mabo, let me go ahead and say this. The one night in particular that I was up at NWA Top Rope, up in Lebanon, and Tasha Simone, the NWA World Women's Champion, was seconding Eric Andrews and Derek Neal. There was more than one occasion, unfortunately, that Tasha interjected herself into a match. I watched.
Yep.
And see, herein lies the funny part. I'm not disrespecting Tasha by bringing that point out, and I'm not trying to disrespect Eric or Derek. What I'm saying is, and this goes to all promotions, if you have a manager, a valet, or a second who interferes, A, on a regular basis, B, more than once in a match, what is that saying about the talent that that person is representing or seconding? If you've got a strong heel character and you have a manager that interferes on a regular basis, that strong heel character doesn't look as strong. But that's just my opinion on that particular issue. Mabo, come on in, your thoughts.
On the manager situation?
Yes.
Oh, I like looking at Maria.
I mean, I like looking at her. Her outfits are getting smaller and smaller. I love it.
She's pretty.
But no, maybe. But look, you've watched this business enough, and you've been around this business enough to know and to have an opinion on this. You know those guys, and Howard Cross was bad about it when he first got into it. Later on, Howard realized less is more when you're a manager. You've seen it 1,000 times. You had a person out there that interferes not once, not twice, but 3 times, and then they continuously interfere. And then they start taking heat away from the events. And just like Eddie was saying, Tasha did that. She started to interfere. She interfered 3 times in that match. But also against Pandora, how many times did Eric Andrews and Derek Neal interfere with Pandora?
Yeah, exactly.
4 or 5 times. How many times did I touch Tasha?
None.
Once. I touched her once. Yes,
Once.
I touched her
Okay.
1 time.
I blinked.
But what is the mentality that you have? And Mabo, do you think that there is something with that? You watch enough Ring of Honor where these guys go out 2 and 3 times, and then they interfere every match. And just like Eddie said, it's like mapped out. You know exactly when these dipheads are going to interfere. It's obvious. Is that not true, or are we both jumping the guns on this, Mabo?
I defer back to who I consider the archetypal manager in one, Bobby the Brain Heenan.
Yes, sir.
Bobby Heenan he might come out. I mean, at one point, how many members of the Heenan family were there? They had at one point. I'd say what, 6, 7 at one point. It seemed like
at its biggest point, yes.
And I mean, and don't call it a stable. It's a family. Stables have flies.
Yes.
Now, if he had to be out there for every match, he was, that was a given. That was, those were his charges. He had to be out there. But rarely did you see, if he was out there more than 2 to 3 times, rarely did you see him interfere in every match. Now, he might distract, but he never got physical. He might interact with the crowd, but he never got physical. That, to me, was the blueprint for what a manager should be. as far as when holding, presence at ringside. You pick and I've heard this said over and over again, both inside pro wrestling business, outside. You pick your spot, so to speak. You wait for that. It's like that perfect build. It's like making love to a woman. You build and you build with the foreplays, and then right when you feel the crescendo of building, you hit the giggity spot, bam, and you make it count. That's how I see it. And that's what it is. If you're going to be out there multiple times, be out there multiple times, but do something different every time. If you're going to be in the main event and your job is to physically get involved, physically lay hands while the referee's down or whatever on your charge's opponent, don't do that in the first or the second match that you're going to be in. Maybe do a little distraction here, but not a physical encounter. Maybe concentrate more on the crowd. Honestly, first match, you should really, especially if they don't know who you are, concentrate on the crowd. Get them to hate you. Right. So the next time you're out, they're going to be like, oh, there's that guy again. F him, blah, 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 blah. So that's just how I see it.
Because, see, I will default back to one of the things that I did in my second full year in the business as a manager. There was a brand new area that we were going to, and I managed one tag team and 2 singles, and on occasion would do an interview segment. I didn't have to interfere, because one thing that I was guilty of was taking a cerebral approach to this business. I never underestimate the intelligence of the people who walk through the door paying their hard-earned money. I would speak to these people as I didn't want to be spoken to, if I was one of those people. I don't have to cuss to get heat with people. I can look you straight in the eye and take an intellectual approach to denigrating an individual and make you sit back and go, what the hell did he just say to me? I hate that turkey for that. I love the art of confusion as a manager. I love making someone think about exactly how I've just knocked them down 5 steps on that pedestal. Or down that flight of stairways, I'll use that analogy. Because I know if at the end of the night I have ticked you off enough to where I'm going to make you go find a dictionary and make you look up a word that I have just used. Or in this day and age, I'll make you grab your smartphone and pull it up. It's like, the hell did he just call me? And then you realize that what I've just said to you after you've looked it up and pieced it all together. And the next time you see me, you're not going to like me anymore than you did. You're going to like me a hell of a lot less than you did. Modern day, and this is where, and I know we're coming up on the bottom of the hour break, and I know that you were making a reference to a DDT in Seg 1, and we were going to tackle that in Seg 2, but we're going to have to wait on Segment 3. Sorry, we got distracted on this. But as far as it goes, that night, match 1, I didn't interfere. I looked like I was going to. I teased like I was going to. My second match out there that I managed, I looked like I was going to. I teased like I was going to. And that kept drawing the crowd into the match that much more. I did the interview segment to build the heat properly for the main, i.e. cut a promo, but it was actually an interview segment, 5 minutes. Anything over a minute and a half is not a promo, it's an interview. Sorry, get that one straight. And when it came time for the Tag Team Championship main event, I did interfere at the end of the match, costing the challengers the tag team titles, drew heat to the team that I was working more than anything else. I got heat for the situation, but I made sure that I didn't draw heat more onto me than I did the guys I was managing. That's the art form in this whole damn shooting match. And I think to a great degree, it is a forgotten art. My tag team partner on this show, the Wicked Nemesis, understands that art form. It's about the build-up. It's about being able to not only put over the people that you are managing and put over the people that you're managing against. Because if you're going in to a main event match managing, you have to know how to put over the person that you're in the opposite corner from. You keep that shine on them, continuing to put over the person that you're managing, and at the same time, you still get yourself over, because when you do it right, yeah, you're over too. Wicked, agree or disagree?
Well, when I first got into the business, I didn't know any of that. I stole heat like a mug because nobody told me. They let me go out there and act like an idiot. And if you remember your first match you managed, if you remember what you did, kudos to you, because I damn sure don't remember. I don't remember my first 3 years anymore.
Oh,
that's just me, That's just me. I've just,
like I said,
done a lot where I don't remember.
Fans in the southeastern United States will remember a promotion called Continental Championship Wrestling and Southeastern Championship Wrestling. One of the guys who worked as enhancement talent was named Johnny Starr, and real name Farrell Spradlin. He's come out and used his real name after the fact also, so I'm not breaking the lines. I'm not breaking down the walls. I'm not crossing a line. His father ran the Southern Wrestling Federation, Wayne Spradlin. He was my first promoter. He was one of the people who helped teach me this business. And one of the things, as I was training in ring to be a wrestler, as I was working to learn to be a manager, the one thing he taught me right off the bat: divide the time. You say what you want to say, how you want to say it. But remember, if I've got a family out there and you offend mom and dad to where they're not going to come back and bring their kids, that's anywhere between 3, 4, and 5 people in the chairs that I'm not going to have the next time around, and I'm going to take that out of your pay. I not only want to see them back here next time hating your guts, I want to see them tell their friends and the rest of their family, you got to come out, and I want you to come out there and check this guy out because you're going to hate him. That's the way it was explained to me right off the bat.
Okay, well, that's cool, but the manager, I don't know. We do have different opinions when it comes to the bottom line, but I mean that's how this business goes.
Yeah.
I don't agree wholeheartedly with that, but hey, we're 4 minutes past the hour.
Yeah, I know.
Past our break,
2 minutes.
so,
Yeah, 2 minutes past the bottom of the hour. When we come back, I want to talk about that DDT, and if I get distracted, Mabo, send Harlequin over here to hump me in the corner, okay? We'll be right back, right here on Beyond Ringside, right after this.
Charlie! Hey, did you see that play last night?
Unbelievable.
Yeah, and they still lost.
Sure.
You know, when I was playing, what we
What?
tried to...
You played in the street.
I played in the service. Anyway, what I'm trying to say is the kid, he should have...
Yeah, Hey, you okay? Someone call 911!
2 out of 3 people with diabetes die of a heart attack or stroke, but you can lower the risk. Ask your healthcare provider how. For more info, go to diabetesactnow.org. Brought to you by the American Diabetes Association and the Ad Council.
This is Dale the Demon Torborg, and you're locked in to Beyond Ringside.
Hey parents, introducing the Communicizer. Go from boring old man speak.
Oh, I'm here if you want to talk.
To 100% off the chain.
Text me whenever, yo.
I love you, Dad.
Communicizer is not available in stores because it doesn't exist. But that's okay. You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Because kids in foster care don't need perfection. They need you. For more information on how you can adopt, go to adoptuskids.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt Us Kids, and the Ad Council.
Hi, this is Emily Richards for RAD, recording artists, actors, and athletes against drunk driving. One person's negligence shattered my life in a single instant. You see, my little sister Annie was killed by a drunk driver. Please, remember those you love. Friends don't let friends drive drunk.
A public service announcement brought to you by the U.S. Department of Transportation, RAD, the National Association of Broadcasters, and the Ad Council.
My name is Mary Crafts, and this is how I live united. I've spent the last 24 years serving others in my catering company, but I felt that a huge part of our community was still being underserved. Those invisible children and young families. With United Way, I advocate for them any way I can. As a volunteer, I go into people's homes and assess mother and infant well-being and help bring change and opportunity into their lives. Nothing feels as good as helping, so I don't just wear the shirt, I live it.
Give, advocate, volunteer, Live United. Go to liveunited.org. Brought to you by United Way and the Ad Council.
Hi, I'm Drew Brees, NFL quarterback for the New Orleans Saints, here with Bugs Bunny to remind you to get moving every day.
Because when you get moving an hour a day,
you fuel your body and your mind.
So what do you like to throw around the football like Drew?
Skateboard, ride a bike, or dance in your room.
Just move it your way.
And be a player.
Get up and play an hour a day, Doc. Check out how to be a player at letsmove.gov.
Head online to get tips on great ways to get moving every day.
At letsmove.gov. A message from the Ad Council and HHS.
As a mother, I'm making it a point to get the H1N1 flu vaccine for my children. You see, children are especially vulnerable to serious complications from the H1N1 flu, which could lead to hospitalization and even death. That's why I'm urging parents to get their children vaccinated. Vaccination is safe and is the most effective way to prevent the flu. Get the facts at flu.gov. Together, we can all fight the flu.
A public service announcement brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
Hi, this is Eric Darnell.
This is David Reagan.
Jamie McMurray.
This is Carl Edwards here for RAD,
the entertainment industry's voice for road safety.
Want to make a difference? It's simple. Be responsible. Plan ahead. Designate before you celebrate. Friends don't let friends drive drunk.
A public service message brought to you by the U.S. Department of Transportation, RAD, the National Association of Broadcasters, and the Ad Council.
This is Bullet Bob Armstrong. I'm Southern born, Southern bred, and I never miss Beyond Ringside.
Chris, you're not acting like a grown-up in our relationship.
Am too.
There's your comic book collection, the race car bed.
I'm young at heart, but I put money into my 401k every paycheck. I'm taking control over my financial life, and that feels pretty grown-up to me.
Put away a few bucks, feel like $1 million. For free ideas and easy ways to save, go to feedthepig.org. That's feedthepig.org. Are those footy pajamas?
This message brought to you by the American Institute of Certified Public Accountants and the Ad Council.
The odds of becoming a signed artist and having 3 #1 albums? 1 in 100 million. The odds of going on to win 6 Grammy Awards? 1 in 1.4 million. The odds of this performer having a child diagnosed with autism? 1 in 110. I'm Toni Braxton, and I encourage you to learn the signs of autism at autismspeaks.org. Autism Speaks. It's time to listen. Brought to you by Autism Speaks and the Ad Council.
It is with sound mind and body that I, James Fredericks III, after fighting with all direct family members for decades, leave my entire fortune of $32 million to the one friend I had in the end, the package delivery guy, Matt Songer.
Woohoo! Yeah! I had a feeling about this. I'm rich! Oh, this cannot be happening.
Actually, it's not happening.
What?
And it never will.
I don't get it.
There aren't even people here. That's just one of those murmuring sound effects.
Seriously?
Listen, if you want to have money in your future, don't rely on luck. Put $10 away each month. Cook once in a while instead of eating out.
Okay.
Pay down your high-interest credit cards.
Right.
Small changes today, big bucks tomorrow.
So, no inheritance?
No. Go to feedthepig.org for more free ideas.
Feedthepig.org.
This message brought to you by the American Institute of Certified Public Accountants and the Ad Council.
And just to be clear, no inheritance, right?
8. I deliver your Sunday paper every week.
7. We work on the same floor.
1 in 8 Americans is struggling with hunger.
6. Our kids walk to school together every day,
including millions of children and seniors.
5. We chat in the elevator at work sometimes.
4. I'm your cashier at the grocery store.
Who's the 1 in 8 in your life that needs help? You can make a difference through Feeding America at feedingamerica.org/1 in 8. A public service announcement brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council.
Hi, I'm Ryan Seacrest for RAD. Over 300 people in this country are killed every week by a drunk driver. That's the equivalent of 2 747 plane crashes every single week. And the problem isn't going away unless we all do our part to stop it. So if you see someone who's about to drive after drinking, get the keys. Don't leave it up to anyone else. Friends don't let friends drive drunk.
A public service announcement brought to you by RAD, the National Association of Broadcasters, and the Ad Council.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Bill Behrens, and you're watching, you're listening, you're experiencing Beyond Ringside, and you are a better person for it. Trust me.
And we are back live on a Sunday night, 21 minutes before the top of the hour and Beyond Ringside. Glad to have you on board. Fast Eddie Lane on this side of the control panel. Mabo, come on back in.
I never left, so there's no reason for me to come on back in.
Actually, we all did leave, so we all come back in one at a time. Wicked.
That's what she said.
Yeah, I think that is what she said. Wicked, come on back in. And you've heard that before.
Well, first of all, let's just remind everybody that Fast Eddie Lane was actually the voice of Meadowlark Lemon on the Harlem Globetrotters cartoons.
Thank you, very nice. That ranks about 35 steps below Casey Kasem being the voice of Robin and Shaggy. So I'll take that one. I really will. 20 minutes before the top of the hour. First off, chat stream is open. Ustream open. YouTube will be taken care of a little bit later. Also, if you're listening through the Ustream feed and it's not the greatest in the world, go over to www.beyondringside.com. And the live show is being fed through there. I want to remind everybody, a little bit later in the night, I will be hosting GCW Radio. You can catch that through beyondringside.com as well. And you can also catch recent episodes and interviews from Beyond Ringside 24/7 through beyondringside.com. Look us up on the Shoutcast Radio Network. We are there. You can utilize Winamp, Windows Media Player. You can find it through iTunes and launch it through there as well. So we're accessible all the way across the board. Thank you to everybody who's been downloading the recent episodes via Podomatic and the podcast through iTunes as well. Yeah, we're definitely doing everything we can to keep the spirit going in more ways than one. Now, I made this reference in Seg 1, and we're finally going to hit this in this segment. Yeah, really. It happens that way sometimes. We all get tangentized, and that's a word that I'm going to go ahead and have trademarked. Tangentized.
Spoiler alert. Spoiler alert.
Yeah, really. We make a reference to...
Oh, I'm sorry.
We make a reference to certain moves being utilized as finishers and how they should maintain that sanctity as finishers.
Like Ted Guinness crapping his pants?
Yeah, pretty much. Now, in my opinion, the DDT that Randy Orton uses, where he uses the second rope for leverage, is not a turning point move, is not a setup move. That should be a finishing move. Because you've got the person in a position, you've got the drama. That should be a heel finisher, not a babyface setup for the RKO. That should be genuinely a heel finisher. I don't care who you are in this industry, because you've got the person in a position to where they are about to have their face smashed through the mat at 21 feet per second. And plain and simple, that is a dramatic build-up move. I don't think that should be a setup. That should be a finisher. Wicked, agree or disagree?
Oh, of course I agree. Eddie, you and I have had this conversation. We have seen people try to do this. It is beyond me that a babyface uses the ropes for anything. That's not what babyfaces do. That's what heels do. Not only is it a DDT, the guy is, or woman, because there are some women that use this. Now, I've seen Pandora use this as a finish, thank God. And you put them up on the middle rope, and then you use it. You're adding something to it when you do that. That's the whole point of putting them up there. And then all this proves is how weak Randy Orton is. And that's what they don't understand. They're like, man, that looks cool, that looks cool. You just had somebody kick out of a DDT. Name a time that somebody kicked out of Jake Snake Roberts' DDT.
Did not happen.
Unless it was Hulk Hogan.
Hogan's the only person, and I've only seen him do it once. So, and it's all about protecting yourselves. If these idiots want to go out, and if they want to make themselves look weak as hell, let them. As for everyone I manage, they know better. If there's a DDT involved, it better be the finish. And if you kick out of it, oh, God, have mercy on your soul, because the wicked Nemesis will not.
Mabo, come on in. Your thoughts?
Yeah, once again, I hate to say, flashback to the past there, Back to the Future, Marty McFly.
The future!
Little Lorraine Baines McFly. But, Jake the Snake, you just brought him up. Jake the Snake, DDT finish. There were others who used the DDT as a finisher. Now, I mean, I have, and I can see and agree with, you know, like a quick kind of snap DDT or whatever, just to, you know, kind of save your ass, so to speak. Just you know, something like that. A quick reverse there, snap, bam, you know, and both guys are down.
The SOS DDT.
Or are you talking about like The Rock?
No, the quick.
You know, something like that. Just like a quick, you know, just like you know, your babyface has been, you know, they've been taking hit after hit after hit. Goes, you know, ducks clothesline, maybe hits a little, you know, quick boot, and then, you know, hits it with a DDT. Just something simple. But like you know, if you're going to sit there and use it, you know, as a primary weapon, but not as a finisher, I think it's, you know, it shouldn't. If you give somebody the DDT, unless you're going to go for the immediate cover, it definitely should not be used, and then especially kicked out of.
I agree.
That's just pointless.
The pile driver. The pile driver is the move.
A pile driver should always be a finisher or a way to cripple somebody.
And you see, and I've seen people do this. I've seen people under mask, and I'm gonna go ahead and say it. Joey Sartain was under a mask working for the AWA Mumford. Whenever whenever Pandora and I made our return to GCW that night. Now he had some little outlaw kid that I don't care his name, and I darn sure wouldn't say it because I don't want to put the kid over. Joey Sartain under a mask, because somebody canceled the show, hits a cradle pile driver on a kid who's an outlaw worker out of Gadsden. Hits this on the kid, and the kid kicks out.
Oh, I thought you were going to say skinny, a $105 and blonde hair.
He is. He was little. He was smaller than that. But he kicks out of it clean. Damon Taz, being the vet, goes backstage and pulls Sartain aside and said, why did you do that? Why would you use a prominent move? And every vet should do this. And this is a testament to Damon freaking Taz being a true veteran. He says, you don't ever use a pile driver as a double down or somebody, unless it's for cover, and definitely under a jobber mask. You knew that going out there that you were just going to job. You knew this. You don't hit anything like that, and that's the mentality people have. And that's nothing against Sartain. But he should have known better. He should have known better. It's like him trying to do the angle slam or whatever the hell he calls it on Tomb. He says he does it. He didn't try to hit it on Tomb, but everybody else said he did. You have to do this. The angle slam is another one. It's quick. It's something that in the angle slam, boom, you hit it. You're right there on them for a pin. But the pile driver, the DDT, should definitely, always, and especially as Mabel said, the pile driver should be the finish. And that's not the mentality people have. People are like, dude, it looks cool if I hit a pile driver from the top rope. Are you kidding me? And I've seen that done. I've seen pile drivers done from the top rope and it not be the finish.
God, please.
I'm not going to say the guy's name, but it's somebody that we've all watched and we all like the guy, but he's done it.
Now, let me slide this reference in. I remember, I think it was during the Nitro era, when Brad Armstrong was given the U.S. title push.
Who?
Brad Armstrong.
Oh, I thought you said Lance Armstrong. I was
No,
like, what?
No, Brad, who also did Candyman and Commando and all that other crap.
Wait, was this when he was Buzzkill?
No.
No,
was this No Limit Soldier Brad? BA? Was this BA?
This was he was still wearing the red, white, and blue jacket.
Oh.
That's so funny. I forgot all about that.
No, I didn't. But by the same token,
blue with the BA.
when Brad was given that singles push before the soldier gimmick, he was using a side Russian leg sweep for his finisher, and the way that Brad hit that side Russian was a thing of beauty because he would go ahead and lock it in 1-2 slam, and he would immediately hit the float over, cradle the leg, hook the neck, 1-2-3. To me, that is a beautiful finisher.
Oh, dude, I mean, I know exactly what you're talking about. And I agree, dude. Like, there are very few people that I've seen in my tenure of watching pro wrestling that can take a side Russian leg sweep and make it into a finisher. And
right.
And I'm not talking like, you know, the stroke or any of the other weird variations that there are. I'm talking about a legitimate side Russian leg sweep. Brad Armstrong testament to him and his wonderful golden mullet back in the day. He could honestly make something that simple not only a finisher, but a believable finisher. Continue, sir. Didn't mean to interrupt.
Now, I'll also say this, and this is a testament to Brad and his professionalism in the ring and his skill set. I won't say skill set, I'll just say his skills. Because there is no move that Brad could not hit and make look good. The man, long before anybody would call themselves having the best drop kick in the industry, with all due respect to Bob Holly, Brad Armstrong had one of the smoothest drop kicks that you will ever see in this industry. And I would say this even if I didn't know him that well. I've known Brad for years. I've worked with him on a ton of cards or shows and live events. From that vantage point, Brad, whether it was in Georgia Championship Wrestling, Southeastern Championship Wrestling, NWA, Crockett World Championship, all the way up to the Nitro era. And to me, Brad Armstrong is one of the most underrated and overlooked talents that this industry has ever had. I mean, he's got a great babyface persona. He's got a good heel persona. He's got a great skill set, knows a crap ton of moves in the ring, knows how to tell the story, understands psychology. Duh, look who his dad is, Bullet Bob Armstrong. Of course, you've got a genuine icon of this industry as your father and mentor in this business. Of course, you better understand exactly what this game's all about. But to me...
And what it's about, though, and you kind of touched on that, it's basics. Brad Armstrong is great. Not good, he's great at basics. When your basics are great, everything else is going to fall into place. And to me, and we've all worked thousands of shows with the Armstrongs. Yes. Eddie, you've worked with them on a continuous basis for about 2 years, and I've worked with them all on and off, even Road Dogg.
Dude, I worked with the Armstrong family back in my first year in this business.
Well, I'm talking about, since you and I have known each other.
Right.
Because we both worked the same shows with them. And their basics are down pat. For the fact that Bullet Bob is 842,000 years old and has the hardest chop. The man legitimately almost broke my back the first time I managed against him because my dumbass brother, Ryan Bishop, told him, "Oh, he doesn't know how to bump." And I said, "Dude, you're a complete moron." We'd been in the business 4 months, and Bullet Bob chopped me so hard he knocked me into the railing at RWA and about broke my back. All to send a message. But the thing about it is their basics. The entire family's basics are great.
Oh, yeah.
And that's what separates them. And if everybody would take care of their basics, the rest is going to fall into place. To have a great house, you have to have a solid foundation. And people forget about that. Yes. You're like, what's a wrist like? I don't know, but I could do a flip off the top rope. I love Chip Day to death. Chip Day does the Brad Armstrong side Russian leg sweep.
Yeah.
But it's not a finish. Everybody, people kick out of it. Well, shouldn't happen.
It shouldn't happen. Now, if you've got somebody that you're working who is larger, can you effectively use the side Russian as a finisher? Yes.
Well, Eddie, think about how that Russian leg sweep that we're talking about. Okay, the Russian leg sweep we're talking about. Let's really stress this out for people that are listening to us. The side Russian leg sweep that Eddie is referring to, and Babo, is a Russian leg sweep where he would hit, where you would go on the side, take them back, and as soon as he hit the mat, he would flip over in one continuous motion, right. No wasted motion, and would hook the leg. That's the greatest part. One continuous motion. Boom, on the mat, flip over, hook the leg, cradle, 1, 2, 3. That's what made that legitimate. It was all basic stuff.
Right.
I've seen a Ryan Bishop beat people with a side headlock takedown, because it was maneuvered right, and people believed it.
Right.
He beat Michael Judas like that with a side with a side headlock takedown. Just boom. It just happens. It's because when it's one continuous motion, that's what wrestling's about, and people forget about that. People forget that, okay, let's say you get kicked. If somebody punches you and you sail forward, or these people that take drop kicks and then they fall face first. Why would you fall face first on a drop kick?
The only way I fall face first on a drop kick is if I'm looking like I'm taking it from the side and I spin sell it.
Should never take a drop kick face first unless you hit the turnbuckle and then fall off.
No, I'm saying if I spin sell it, if I'm making it look like they're coming at me from the side and one foot catches me on the side of the face, one catches me on the shoulder, then I'm not going to do a side bump. I'm going to do a spin around and go ahead and go take the face bump on that.
I don't know about you, but when somebody hits me with a drop kick, they really hit me. I don't say to make it seem like anything. They just do it. It's not choreographed with me, Eddie.
Now,
I don't know about you.
No, if they hit it properly, then I'm going to do a momentum sell. Yes, Mabo, come on in.
Shut up! You bicker like two old ladies. Well, I don't know about you, but I wouldn't do it like that. Well, I would do it like this. I wouldn't do it like that. Shut up and continue your stories, but quit arguing.
Now, also, one other move that comes to mind when I think about the side Russian from Brad is Magnum TA and the belly-to-belly suplex. Because remember, when Magnum would hit the belly-to-belly, he would immediately go for the float over, catch it, 1, 2, 3, win. Of course, we all know that Magnum, I don't think ever on television, never worked a match over a minute and a half to begin with. And that's no disrespect to Paul Garner or any of the other guys who sold that damn move for him. And here's the thing, on the belly-to-belly, that is the closest thing you actually had to someone looking like a power babyface, other than the Road Warriors. Because of the fact that you had everything in place where Magnum didn't have to sell on television. The factor was to make him look strong, make him look good. The ladies are going to love him, make him look credible to the guys to where they're not going to sit back and go, oh, he's just a boy toy for the girls. You had to do something. And for him to be able to hit that belly-to-belly suplex, hit the float, and make it look as credible and believable and solid as it did, that one move right there put him over to most of the male fans, most of the guys, as a power face for the ending. Now, when he would go into programs with Arn Anderson, Ric Flair, Tully Blanchard, or do tag team matches against the Midnights, then of course he would turn around and bump and sell. You know, all of the above, bump, feed, sell. I'll take your pick on the use of the terminology. But the way it looks to me is you've got to have that credibility in the move. Agree or disagree? Maybe I'll go to you first.
Magnum who?
Magnum.
No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, I know Magnum TA, and daggone shame that career got short because he was up to be the NWA World Champion at one point. As far as babyface goes, like you said with that belly-to-belly, definitely. I definitely remember when Shane Douglas went back to ECW before leaving for WCW, and I think he came back to ECW and then left. Anyway, he was another one that would hit the belly-to-belly. He called it the Pittsburgh Plunge for some reason, and it's
right.
Just kind of a stupid name. But he was another one that he would grab you, spin, hit it, pin you. So yeah.
Yeah, the continuity has to be there. Wicked, come on in.
Well, I don't know about you, but no. Yeah. The belly-to-belly was nice, but as you said, but also the way that TA would do it, and even Shane, when they did it, they would they would literally take you. When Taz, that's what people don't understand. When Taz and Kurt Angle give you the belly-to-belly, they do it all. I know we're breaking kayfabe, but it's all in them. Not when TA did it. TA would throw you like a rag doll, and Shane Douglas, and it was just that rag doll effect. Or anybody's ever taken a bump, you want to be controlled. Although Taz and Kurt Angle, it looks like they're killing you, they're really protecting you in what they do. They are probably two of the best at protecting people. And Sabu, he broke his neck on his own.
See, because every once in a while you get carried away and you lose track of the law of gravity. And gravity, remember, it's not a concept, kids. Reality is a concept. Gravity is a freaking law.
Gravity kills.
Gravity Falls debuts tomorrow night on Disney XD.
Hey, that's a good show. It has the girl from 30 Rock, and it's on The Daily Show that does the voice of the little girl. And them chopping Larry, what's his name? Larry King's head off as a wax statue. That was great. I laughed.
Hey, there's Perry. Okay. Tell you what, but there's a ton of shows I want to touch on real quick as far as getting ideas, thoughts, predictions, early thoughts. Let's go ahead and take about a 4-minute break. We're going to be back right here on Beyond Ringside right after this.
When planning your next party or special event, insist on the best. Full Range Entertainment is a professional entertainment company providing a full range of services. From professional disc jockeys and MCs to catering and photography, when the details of your special day must be perfect, call us first. Wedding receptions, corporate parties, school functions, birthday celebrations, and more. We also have Birmingham's largest selection of karaoke tracks available. With over 40 years combined experience, Full Range Entertainment can provide you with the talent and professionalism you need and deserve to make your next event one you'll never forget. For more information on the full range of services we offer, call 533-HITS. That's 533-HITS. Or check us out on our website at fullrangeentertainment.com.
Most days go by without a whole lot of surprises. But what if a disaster strikes without warning? What if life as you know it has completely turned on its head? Would you be prepared? Before a disaster turns your family's world upside down, be ready. Get a kit. Make a plan. Be informed. Learn how at www.ready.gov. Brought to you by the Federal Emergency Management Agency and the Ad Council.
Hi, this is Ozzy Osbourne. For many years, you know I've had a drink problem and I'm trying to battle that problem every single day. But one thing I don't drive my car when I'm drinking. I get someone to drive me. Do not drink and drive. It's the stupidest thing. If you drink, just don't drive. Not only are you going to hurt yourself, you may hurt some other person, and you wouldn't want that on your conscience, would you?
A public service announcement brought to you by the U.S. Department of Transportation, RAD, the National Association of Broadcasters, and the Ad Council.
Ranger Station, Ranger speaking.
Hi, I want to report a bear sighting.
Location?
My front door.
Oh, really? And did the bear knock or use the doorbell?
He used the doorbell. It was Smokey Bear.
Now we're getting somewhere.
Yeah, my husband was burning leaves in the yard. He just came inside for a second.
Not a good idea.
Smokey said the same thing. He said to never leave a fire unattended because it could lead to a wildfire.
Yep, if it's too hot to touch, it's too hot to leave.
Smokey said that too.
We go way back. I knew him when he was just a cub.
Oh, how cute.
Rangers are many things, ma'am, but cute isn't one of them. Have a nice day. If you see someone in danger of starting a wildfire, step in and make a difference. Because 9 out of 10 wildfires are caused by humans. Brought to you by Smokey Bear, the U.S. Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council. Learn more at smokeybear.com.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Hi, I'm Drew Brees, NFL quarterback for the New Orleans Saints, here with Bugs Bunny to remind you to get moving every day.
Because when you get moving an hour a day,
you fuel your body and your mind.
So what do you like to throw around the football like Drew?
Skateboard, ride a bike, or dance in your room.
Just move it your way.
And be a player.
Get up and play an hour a day, Doc. Check out how to be a player at letsmove.gov.
Head online to get tips on great ways to get moving every day.
At letsmove.gov. A message from the Ad Council and HHS.
This is Angel, half of the Double Trouble Morning Team on Distant Thunder Radio, and you are locked in to Beyond Ringside.
Confessions of a Potentially Perfect Parent, brought to you by AdoptUsKids.org.
I know more about cooking dinner for a party of 12 than about packing a lunch for a 12-year-old. I know kids like things like fish sticks. Fillets, I get, but sticks? Maybe we can just compromise on mac and cheese. Can you make that with Brie?
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. There are thousands of teens in foster care who would love to put up with you. Call 1-888-200-4005 or visit AdoptUsKids.org for more information. A message from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt Us Kids, and the Ad Council.
Foreclosure is hard on every member of the family, but your family is not alone. If you're struggling with your mortgage, there is help. To learn about the government's Making Home Affordable program, visit makinghomeaffordable.gov or call 1-888-995-HOPE to speak to a HUD-approved housing counselor. It's free of charge. Visit makinghomeaffordable.gov or call 1-888-995-HOPE today. Brought to you by the U.S. Treasury, HUD, NeighborWorks America, and the Ad Council.
This is Angel Orsini.
This is the Human Hand Grenade, Danny Only.
This is Dirty Dutch Mantel.
This is Liz Savage.
This is Vinny O'Brien, 2010 Golden Glove champion. This is Gabe Sapolsky from Dragon Gate USA and Evolve Pro Wrestling, and you're locked into Beyond Ringside.
plays. The microphones go hot, and we are back live on a Sunday night. Welcome back into Beyond Ringside Live, 7:04 Central Standard Time, 8:04 Eastern. Fast Eddie Lane behind the control panel. Wicked Nemesis, welcome back.
Trogdor.
Troglodyte. Mabo, welcome back.
Mark Law.
Haven't heard that word in forever and a day. Spinning around real quick. Thank you to everybody who's been popping through the chat room. Letter ustream.tv/channel/beyond-ringside-live. Thank you to everybody who's been listening through the Facebook fan page, facebook.com/beyond-ringside live. A couple of things I want to hit on real quick. Next Saturday, sorry, not next Saturday. I'm going to jump ahead because I can. Chikara, Reading, Pennsylvania, 1900 Center Avenue. They're going to have a very, very solid lineup coming up. I mean, you've got everybody from Dasher Hatfield, Green Ant, Icarus, Hallowicked. Sugar Dunkerton is back with Chikara. Haven't had a chance to really catch that much of what they've been as far as the video updates go. Now,
well, Eddie,
yes,
if you want to get video updates, then it's simple. You can either go to their website, ChikaraPro.com, or their YouTube channel and watch all the various Chikara updates that they have. Everything. I don't know if they have the rights to do a Chikara podcast at Go-Go anymore, but I know they've got the barbershop window, I believe it's called, or the barbershop. They've got several updates. Just go to their YouTube channel and or their website for all of your Chikara needs.
And Lightning Mike Quackenbush is smiling and waving at Mabo going, thank you, great job, dude. We haven't actually had Quackenbush on this year. We actually need to sit down and try to see if we can get him back on.
That's working. Just keep your underbritches on there, Slick.
Not a problem. And like I said, next Saturday, the pay-per-view, Ring of Honor, Boiling Point, Steen versus Kingston. We got some great matches lined up for this one. Of course, ROH World Championship match. Kevin Steen defending against Chikara Grand Champion Eddie Kingston. Tag Team War. And I'm looking for this. That should be a fun match to watch. The Briscoes, Jay and Mark Dimboys. Excuse me, hashtag Dimboys.
That's right, son. Get it right now. Get it right.
Of course. Taking on the Zombie Princess, Jimmy Jacobs, which is funny as hell that he's going that direction. And the King of Old School, Steve Corino. Let me get y'all's insights on this match. Wicked, you slide in first.
I have no idea. I don't watch Ring of Honor, even though Corey Hollis is about to start working for him. Congratulations, Corey Hollis.
Really? Congratulations, Corey Hollis, on that one. Mabo, your thoughts?
Oh, now, Corino and Jacobs have had some wars at Ring of Honor and various other places, and nobody can question the dominance of them boys, so it's going to be a good match. Corino and Jacobs, they've fought, they've teamed, they've loved, they've hated, they've made out. I think they even shared a lemon meringue pie recipe once. I'm not sure though.
Scary thought.
But you can't deny the veteranosity. That's a word, I just made it up. Of one Steve Corino, King of Old School. The Jimmy Jacobs, no slouch. He's been around the block several times. So, it's going to be a pretty amazing match. Now, Corino, Jacobs, not a regular tag team, but they know each other well.
Yes.
Both biblically and in the ring. So, I think it's going to be a really good match. I look for them boys, as long as the chicanery doesn't get too crazy, them boys to walk away, mainly because it's them boys, and I share the same name as one of them, and the guy's missing teeth. So.
Actually, you kind of share the initials of one of them, so we'll take that one step further.
Well, I don't know his middle name. I'm not a Mark. Well, I am, but I'm not.
Mark Briscoe, Mark Bowman, MB.
Yes, but I don't know his middle name, so you can't say we share a full initial.
I said to a degree. Thanks for playing.
I prefer two right guard.
There you go. One match that I'm really kind of curious to see how they're going to put this together, and it would actually, I think this one could actually be a sleeper match, so to speak, and I'm not being denigratory when I'm saying that. That is a word, look it up. The Mixed Tag Team Grudge match, Die Hard Eddie Edwards and the Queen of Wrestling, Sarah Del Rey. Sarah is still cool as hell to watch work. Versus the Prodigy Mike Bennett and the First Lady of ROH, Maria Kanellis. Now, if that tag is not mislabeled, I don't know what is, because I think you would actually have to put Del Rey as the First Lady of ROH. all of the above.
Well, but if you're not in there regularly, then you can't be the first lady.
True, and they've pretty much taken Maria Kanellis and put her on television every chance they've got, including replays. And once again, I do like to thank ROH for not digitizing the almost non-existent ass of Maria Kanellis, but what is there is there.
Well, let's see, here's the thing. Well, no, go ahead. I'm not
No, continue. I like this. Go ahead.
No, I'm not going to spoil anything, so you just keep talking.
Okay. I'm trying
Let me say something about that really quick, though.
Bring it on.
Why is Sarah Del Rey the first woman of wrestling? Or I'm sorry, the queen of wrestling? Wouldn't that be Tasha Simone, since she is, of course, the NWA Women's World Champion? I think Sarah Del Rey should be the first woman of Ring of Honor. And she should not be labeled the queen of wrestling, because the queen of wrestling is the NWA Women's World Champion, Tasha Simone. I'm just saying.
I would love to see you bring up Tasha, good friend of ours here on Beyond Ringside.
But no, seriously, I'm asking a question too. Should Sarah Del Rey be the queen of wrestling?
For ROH billing purposes, I can see why they would do that, but in the overall grand scheme of things, I can't. I have to agree, Wicked. I can't really call her that. Mabo?
I'm not going to do anything that disagrees with Tasha Simone. I'm not stupid. And knowing the fact that, there's the opportunity to finally, you guys, obviously Wicked has met her several times. Eddie, I think you've met her a couple times. This will be my first meeting if I can make it to the Pell City show. I'm not stupid, so I'm not going to give her a reason to punch me in the face. So I'm going to say that, yes, Tasha Simone should be the queen of wrestling because I'm pretty and I don't want to not be pretty.
Now, the match or the encounter that Mabo is talking about is actually in reference to...
What did you just call me, son?
What, Mabo?
Get it right. You know how it's pronounced. Don't make me come over there and smack you face, Edie Lalani, Laluni. Get it right, son.
I'm just going on there. I actually threw that one in there, A, to see if you would hear it, and B, because half the rest of the world does make the A the little house thing on instead of a long A.
The house thing? What?
Yeah, the AH sound instead of the long A sound.
The house thing? Really?
He cannot admit that he actually stumbled on his words.
He did.
No, actually, I said Mabo actually on purpose.
I'm sorry. Mabo boo-boos.
That sounds like part of Mudbone's incantation.
Now, the reference that is being made to the GCW Pell City show is going to be Saturday night, August the 18th in Pell City, Alabama, under the banner of Global Championship Wrestling. You are going to have a women's tag team challenge match, which, folks, this match could very easily be worth the price of admission for not just one but 3 shows, because you have Nina Monet, an up-and-comer in this business, who has a dream tag team partner in the multi-time National Wrestling Alliance World Women's Champion Tasha Simone, La Reina del Pile Driver, and they will be taking on the Island Girl Tracy Taylor and Calm Like a Bomb Pandora, managed by our very own architect of intellect, Enoch Tessarian, Wicked Nemesis. Ooh, did I just use both names in one sentence? I try not to confuse people. Just call him Wicked Nemesis. Everything's good.
Don't you didn't mispronounce it either.
And well, actually, I was going to go ahead and say, and please, for the love of God, if you meet him in public, don't use his shoot name. Don't use his real name. Do not call him the Wicked Nemesis. He does get upset when you do that. So, like I said, leave the shoot names out of this. But from this vantage point, you have got, like I said, Nina Monet is working hard to develop her body of work, to build her reputation, and to become better match by match by match. She's off to a good start. And having the NWA Women's World Champion Tasha Simone as a tag team partner cannot hurt. It can definitely help. And I will also venture to say this. Somebody on August the 18th is in a position to learn not only, and I'm going to steal Rick's phrase, the wrestling lesson of a lifetime, but also a very valuable life lesson as it pertains to professional wrestling. Now, we're going to go ahead and cover a couple more shows, but I want to come back to this in just a minute. We're going 15 after the hour real quick. Next Sunday night, Impact Wrestling, TNA, continuing their 10-year celebration, has Hardcore Justice, the pay-per-view.
Hardcore Justice!
There you go. Headlining this card, World Heavyweight Championship match, the rematch, Bobby Roode challenging Austin Aries, the greatest man who ever lived. If this match does not set an impossible precedent, I'm going to be surprised, because their original matchup where Aries won the title at Destination X, I thoroughly enjoyed that match. I've actually gone back and watched it 3 times because the match was fun to watch. It was great to see. The Bound for Glory ladder match is one that is actually just a nice little curveball in there. Because remember, they opened up the BFG series with the Battle Royal worth 20 points. And you go from there. You're getting Skype messages from hell, aren't you, Wicked? Because I hear the drip drip.
Oh God, I'm sorry. On this tablet, unfortunately, anytime somebody gives me a direct message or anything, goes bloop bloop, and I'm trying to turn it off. I'm sorry,
dude. It's okay. I'm just popping chops. Don't worry about it. But I'm really looking forward to this because you've got 4 great workers in this match and 4 consummate professionals: AJ Styles, Kurt Angle, Christopher Daniels, and Samoa Joe. This is going to be one of those situations where, honestly, I swear, don't blink, because if you do, you're going to miss half the match. Mabo, your thoughts?
Oh, I mean, if there's 4 guys you want, I mean, I'm kind of concerned, Kurt still with the neck and the stuff and everything. But if there's 4 guys you wanted doing a ladder match, it would be these. You know what? Just stand there and watch me. Just stand there and watch me get killed, you jerk. If there's four guys you would want working a ladder match, it would be these 4 guys. I mean, AJ and Daniels are going to do the crazy. Joe's going to be there for the muscle. Kurt's got the the whole tech thing going, and Kurt can fly too. So no disrespect there. So yeah, definitely, man. It's like I said, they couldn't have picked 4 better guys to put in a ladder match than these 4.
Wicked, your thoughts?
All 4 of those guys right there are the faces. I don't care what anybody tells you of TNA, even Angle. Those 4 guys don't need a ladder in that match. If this was just a 4-way dance, if this was a tag match, this would be one of the best matches. As you said, AJ and Christopher Daniels can fly with some of the best of them. Samoa Joe can fly with some of the best of them being big. And then you have the Olympic gold medalist, the greatest wrestler of our generation, hands down.
Yes.
And the greatest wrestler of all time, sorry, Danny Hodge, Kurt Angle. Never bet against the gold, especially during Olympic time. I think that every year when the Olympics come around, especially the Summer Olympics, I think Kurt Angle, I don't know, maybe he's plugged into the Olympic matrix or something, because he always has some of his best matches during Olympics time. And that's a shoot. And
yeah,
I think that this is going to be one of the match of the year candidates. It's not going to be the September 8th match, Tasha and Pandora, but still it's going to be pretty close.
Now, also another one to keep your eye on, and I'm loving how they're working the BFG series into the Hardcore Justice theme. Because of the tables match, worth 20 points, Jeff Hardy, James Storm, Bully Ray, and Robbie E. I see James Storm, hands down, taking 20 points. I mean, the only other person in this match that I could see pulling off the tables win would be actually Bully Ray. Mabo, your consideration.
Well, once again, I'm going to say 3 out of the 4 this time. I mean, how many times have we watched... Oh, God, I just almost rolled off the couch. That has been an awesome segment right there. This week on Beyond Ringside, Mabel rolls off the couch. Anyway, how many times have we... How many times have we seen... Bully Ray and Jeff Hardy in some way, shape, form, or fashion involved in a table match. So, I mean, these guys have got the table match down pat. Biggity bam. James Storm, he's another one that, I wouldn't have so much put him in a ladder match, but he's definitely one of those guys that fit the archetype of a table match. You don't see him doing too much crazy stuff coming off a ladder, but you damn sure bet he can, super kick somebody through a standing table, or at least do a leg drop or a body splash or something. Robbie E, they're just going to beat the hell out of that poor kid. I'm sorry. He's the one. He's the one right now, I guarantee you, that's going to take the wackadoo Jeff Hardy bump somehow, some way. I mean, whether it be to get the points for Jeff Hardy, or if Jeff Hardy, I say Bully Ray, Bubba Ray. I'm going to call him Bubba Ray. Piss off, TNA. I'm going to call him Bubba Ray. I think Bubba, I think he's going to get this. I mean, you know, he's behind, and this would kind of help bring him, you know, make the race a little bit more even. And since he's just, from what I heard, because there was rumor that he and Devon were coming to the end of their contracts. That's not me being a mark or whatever. That's just me legitimately reading what has been put out there. Not like, you know, he was doing lines of coke off of frickin' Sarita's butt. But they're saying that he re-signed, which, Eddie, I can't remember if it was you and I that talked about it last week on air or off air. But right now, Bubba is in the middle of just a ridiculously monster, you know, push, which he deserves. So I think he might actually, you know, walk away with the points. But regardless of whether it's Hardy or Bubba, Robbie E is going to be on the receiving end of this table commencing going throughing thing.
Wicked Nemesis.
Let's have a moment of silence for Robbie.
Gee.
Okay, Bully Ray. Bully Ray is phenomenal. Bully Ray, as you said, deserves exactly what he's got. Even deserves has nothing to do with it. The guy can work. The guy's a great heel. The guy makes people hate him. And he's one of the best. To me, he is one half of the greatest tag team of all time. You guys, I've said this, the Dudley Boys are the greatest tag team ever.
Now, yeah, I'll pull my prediction out next week. And you've got a BFG series match, 20 points to the winner, falls count anywhere. Anderson, RVD, the Pope, and Magnus. This should be fun to watch. It really should, because you've got 4 contrasting styles in there. Now, I will say that Anderson and Magnus match up very well style for style. Pope, since his comeback off the project, has just he's not really looking like the same Pope. At least not to
Why
me.
is it got to be projects? Why is it got to be projects when you talk about the Pope? Why? Because he's black? Why, Eddie? Why? What you trying to get at, Eddie? That's messed up, yo.
Why ask why? Try Bud Dry. Mabo, your thoughts?
Well, this is basically the leftovers of the BFG peoples. I don't know. I mean, you know, and these are the ones you want to throw in the falls count anywhere. We all know RVD's past of hardcore action, so to speak, and I'm not just talking about the alleged video. Just kidding. Maybe. Allegedly. But you know, and Pope, I mean, a lot of people don't remember when he was Elijah Burke in the new ECW. He had some dealings and some going-ons with some hardcore matches. I mean, stood toe-to-toe with Tommy Dreamer and various Balls Mahoney, all that stuff. So, you know, whether this will break down into a hardcore falls count anywhere, which, I mean, let's be honest, if it's a falls count anywhere, could you really get disqualified? So why not just go ahead and just bring in weapons? I don't know.
They're going to. Wicked Nemesis.
Never bet against the stoner. Yep. Sorry, I had it on mute. This time, that's the only sound it makes. RVD, you know, this is a lot. 20 points is a lot for just one match for this series. So kudos to them for making this really, really mean something.
I think they've done a great job of building up the BFG series to this point from what I have seen on TNA. And I think that incorporating the live events as well as the pay-per-views and everything with the open fight night, I think they've done a remarkable job on that. So my hat's off to Impact Wrestling for really turning the corner and getting things in proper perspective. I hate to be the one who always says it like this, but I don't think I'm the only one who says it like this. I am just so used to TNA taking 2 steps forward and 8 steps back. So forgive me if I'm sitting back with guarded optimism yet again when it comes to something with TNA. And, just like I said, I think the appropriate term is guarded optimism. The match that I'm really paying no attention to, believe it or not, is the Knockouts title match. I really hope they put the belt back on Madison Rayne, and I'll emphasize that a little bit more next week. Mabo?
Yeah. To me, I'm sorry, and I'll just go ahead and say this. No, I don't want to join your group. Leave me alone. That's not what I wanted to say.
There you go.
What I want to say is, at this point, to me, the Knockouts division just doesn't mean the same as it did, a couple of years ago.
It really
So
doesn't.
I really could care less about the Knockouts and what goes on. It's sad to say. I mean, you got good talent leaving because they're trying to short sheet them, so to speak, on the contracts. So, and then what's left, and don't get me wrong, what's left is good talent, but it's just it's not like the original days of Kong and Gail Kim and
when Dutch Mantell was booking the Knockouts.
Yeah, when Dutch was when Dutch was doing the booking for the women's, and you could read all about how he came up with the idea along with Jeff Jarrett and Vince Russo and a couple others in his book, The World According to Dutch, available at his website, whatever it may be. You can also find him on Facebook, and you can access the book through there, and also purchase his follow-up to The World According to Dutch, which I have not, but I'm pretty sure I will at some point.
I do. I have it. Tales
is
from
it
the
good?
Dirt Road.
Is it really good?
Yes, it is.
Okay. Anyway, back to the thing. It doesn't mean the same to me, man. It's just I have no desire. I don't want to say it's as bad as watching the crap going on in WWE right now with whatever they're trying to do, but it's not the same. It's like when second Darlene came in on Roseanne. It's not the same.
Yeah, I know. Wicked Nemesis.
Okay, so the whole thing about Dutch Mantell, first of all, yes, he knew how to book women, but I ran across a guy named Kerry Awful, who's really not awful, that works at a Top Rope. He told me, guys...
Wait, hold on, Wicked. Before you get started, it's actually Terry Awful?
Yes.
Best name ever!
And
No.
and he hit one of the worst drop kicks I've ever seen thrown. And
Would you say it was awful?
It was awful. Yeah, and we were like, ugh. We're like, who taught you to throw a drop kick like that? He said Dutch Mantell, and it's one of Dutch Mantell's trainees out of Nashville. Dutch told this kid to put his hand out straight, put his arm out straight. Now, man, just put your arm out straight in front of you, the tip of your finger with your hand open, and just to jump and try to kick that. And that's how you do a drop kick. I think I threw up, I peed, I crapped, and I cried all at one time. I was like, that is horrible, horrible advice. But the women's division is dead, you know.
I hate to cut you off, but let's be honest now. At this point in his life, Dutch has kind of lost it a little bit. So
the one thing Dutch has not lost is the psychology and the ability to teach, because I think after I'm working with him on a couple of different occasions, Dutch still has a very solid head for this business. And granted, we get to a point where the head and the heart's there, but the body may not be. I'm definitely at that point right now. But by the same token, that's why, he was... I'm going to use the role of Hollywood in this particular circumstance, and I don't mean Hollywood Hogan. Dutch was a great performer in ring, tremendous, all of the above. He was a great heel. And I think that as a front office personality, he had a lot to offer this business. And I still don't understand the politics of why Dutch was let go from the Knockouts division. And I know we're breaking a wall when we do that, when we're talking about that, but I'll say it like this: after he turned over the reins to somebody else, after he was out, the Knockouts division has never recovered. That's true.
But I said something about him teaching this kid wrong, and you were like, "Well, he's a great teacher." That's awesome.
Okay,
but you're right; it has down, and it will never recover. Because if you portray the daughter of one of the greatest sports entertainers of all time, who's never bumped, who's never trained before in this business, over a division, automatically you lose all credibility.
And what was the name you used for her, Mabo?
Oh, Brock Hogan.
Yes.
Old Brock Hogan.
2 more matches.
The oldest son of the Hogan.
We're going to
brothers.
go. We're going to work straight through the bottom of the hour break. We're going to take it about 15. From this vantage point, Kid Cash and Gunner, Chavo Guerrero and Hernandez, which should easily steal the show. Agree or disagree, Mark?
I'm going to see. I don't know about saying it's going to be a show stealer. I think that's going to be like a ladder match or something. I will say this though, Chavo, yes, Chavo's performance is going to be phenomenal. Gunner, I don't understand why. I don't know what happened. I don't know who's, for Cinnamon Toast Crunch he pooped in at TNA or what, but they stopped whatever push he had going. Of course, they had him lose to Bischoff's kid, but
that was stupid.
And
now where's Garrett Bischoff at?
Hanging around Devon. Anyway,
figured he's off with The Rock.
But Gunner, Phil Shatter. I think he's being wasted. As opposed to getting wasted like other people do. It's just he is one of those talents that are just. It's literally being wasted, and it frustrates me because I'll even and shame on me. I forget he even exists until I see him post something on Twitter, and I'm like, oh crap, it's Gunner, and like I said, he could have such a bright future if they would use him properly.
Yep.
But they're not for some reason. So I think if you get Chavo and Gunner into the ring, it's going to be crazy. We saw a little bit of Kid Cash. Oh, did they wrestle on Impact? I don't remember. Anyway, Kid Cash or whatever he's going by these days. I call him Fugly McGee because man did not age very well.
Yeah.
Him and Chavo are going to turn in a wonderful match. The unknown factor is going to be Hernandez. 1 minute they're all about some Hernandez. 1 minute they're like, we'll send him to Mexico to refine himself, and then they're like, oh, he's back? What do we do with him? I don't know. Stick him with another Mexican. Why? Because they all like each other. I don't know, but I don't know if it was somebody other than Hernandez, I would say, and I can't say who right now because I honestly don't know. If it was somebody other than Hernandez, I would say this would definitely be the sleeper match. But if it was Homicide instead of Hernandez, yeah, I think it would be insane. But I don't know. I've got issues with Hernandez and expecting a lot out of him. So, yeah. But that's not taken away from anybody really.
Wicked.
Well, of course, you all know how I feel about Shatter. Great talent. Shatter needs a manager. This is not going to be a pleasant match, and I like Kid Cash. Tasha Simone says Kid Cash is one of the baddest guys in the business. I'll take her word for it. But you gotta feel this is Shatter's time to get back on track. So I'm sorry, Gunner. I'm going with Gunner. Keep calling him Shatter. Durr.
And I noticed I left out the X Division title match, Kenny King versus Fruity Drink. Zima Ion. I just can't get over that name. That is so freaking idiotic that they want to take. The kid had a great name in Shima Zion, and granted, they wanted to go ahead and make it a little bit more of his own without trying to compromise what little notoriety the kid had up in the Northeast. But that is just ultimate stupidity. The way that they've done it, the way they've done his name. And
well, it's the same thing they did with Jigsaw from Chikara.
I know.
Called him Rubik's.
That at least made a little bit more sense.
Rubik's though?
Yeah, it's funny as hell that somebody would remember that part instead of calling him Zima. Oh, come on. Zima is the joke of the alcohol industry. Come on.
They could have called him Ice House.
I'd like that better.
Or McGinnis.
Oh no, that name sucks too much for anybody to have.
There you go. Or McGinley either. From that vantage point, Mabo, your thoughts X Division title match, real quick.
Well, if Kenny King walks out with his life, he's a winner chicken dinner. let's put it this way, if he walks out, he's still the winner. Why? Because Simi Shama Shamalama Ding Dong, freaking, I posted it on Twitter during Destination X. I guess if you can cripple one guy, if you can bust open other people's faces, if you can call someone who should be the X Division champion, if you can cause them to tear their ACL, their other ACL, hell, kid, we're going to put the belt on you. Why? Because you look pretty and you have nice hair. But you know what? He's a joke. He is a freaking joke, and he shouldn't have the belt. So, Kenny King, if you're listening, if you got friends who are listening, if your friend's grandma's, uncle's, cousin's dog just happened to step on the frickin' controls and flipped over to us, you know what? Kid, you don't deserve the belt. I will tell that to your face. This is not some kind of little gimmick or rant or whatever. You don't believe me? You come to Birmingham. You call in. 205-316-9900. Call in to be on Ringside. Ask for Mabo. We're on at 5:30. I will tell you to your face, you don't deserve the belt. You've been in the business for a couple of years. Yes, I know who you are. I know what you've accomplished. You don't deserve that belt. You're a danger. You don't know how to be safe. So you know what? You don't deserve that belt. Where's the damn pay-per-view at, Eddie? Where's Hardcore Justice at? Arizona, something like that.
Hang on, no, let me look.
Let's go to what's that little startup website that people have where you can get a startup, donate money?
Go to I don't know.
Anyway, y'all know what that site is. You guys raise money for me to go to Hardcore Justice, listeners. I will go to Hardcore Justice. I will get there at 5:00 in the morning and stand out there until frickin' Zima Shima Zappy Zuzu comes out, and I will say, "Come here, let me talk to you, little man." All right?
It's in Orlando at the Impact Zone.
Really? I thought one of them was in Arizona. Okay,
That's
anyway,
Bound for Glory.
You know what? I'll ride the Incredible Hulk ride. I'll get me a churro. I'll go frickin' pick out a wand from Harry Potter World. I'll come back there. I'll stuff it up his nose, cut that queer hairdo of his, and say, "Kid, you don't deserve the belt," because he doesn't. He makes me sick. So apparently he's blowing somebody in the back to get that belt.
Should we count that for your last call, Mabo?
Yes.
Okay, Mabo, last call.
Zima Ion's blowing somebody in TNA Impact to get the frickin' X Division belt. Hell, don't be surprised. You know what? Don't be surprised if it comes out that Brooke Hogan and Zima Ion are dating. Called it. Right there. Suck it.
So, which one did you just say?
I said Brookie Brock.
No, the ucket. Which one did you use? I need to go back.
Suck it.
Oh, suck it? Okay. As long as the S and not the F, I don't have to worry about post-production, because we're good to this point.
No, I didn't say the F word.
Okay.
I'm not other people.
Okay. Meanwhile, back at the ranch, that's the other one for the blooper reel. Short version: if Brooke Hogan or Brock Hogan and Zima Ion are dating, who's the bull and who's the bitch? I mean, I just have to ask that point blank. Who's the man in the relationship?
Well, if you've got to question it, then obviously you haven't been paying attention to the show this past 4 years? 3 years, 4 years?
No, I just don't pay attention to Zima Ion and Brock. I mean, Brooke.
Look, I'm telling you, if you can look at old Simi Jimmy, and you can look at old Brock, and you can tell who's got the penis and who's got the vagine.
Yes, Brock LaHoo. Gun. Wicked, last call.
Ladies and gentlemen, Pell City, August 18th. Pell City Civic Center. Global Championship Wrestling. Mad Dog Dan Sawyer has done something that not many NWA promoters have done. He is paying, and this is a shoot, for a great match. These are not women that you pay $10, $15, or you have some guy eat them out backstage. This is one of the matches, guys, for the ages. This is going to be a match that you always look upon. This is going to be a match where the NWA Women's World Champion, Tasha Simone, is coming to Alabama. The NWA Women's World Champion is coming to wrestle. The Island girl, woman, lady, whatever, Tracy Taylor, She's been in developmental. She's done her thing all over the United States. And then you have Calm Like a Bomb Pandora, the queen of the MOD, the cult icon in all of the independent circuit, the legitimate woman that when she goes to an event, all the women, all the workers, all the talent ask for her autograph and mark out and take pictures for her. Why? Because she's one of the best. And then you have Nina Monet, who's been in this business a limited time, but has wrestled men, has been in steel cage matches, has done everything she can to better herself. And she chose one heck of an opponent, one heck of a partner for this tag team match in the NWA Women's World Champion, Tasha Simone. If you're anywhere in the Southeast, August 18th is the place you want to be, Pell City Civic Center. Pell City, Alabama. This is going to be a match that for the next 10 years, people in the Southeast will talk about. This is a match that you could put on a pay-per-view and sell tickets. This is a pay-per-view quality match. This is a match that some people will remember and tell their kids about. This is a match that come August 18th, everyone who doesn't know who the reigning NWA Women's World Champion is, Tasha Simone, they will know. And then come September 8th, she's losing that title to Calm Like a Bomb Pandora in Lebanon, Tennessee. August 18th, GCW. Kudos to Mad Dog Dan Sawyer stepping up and making this happen.
And I'll add a little addendum to that. The listeners know my tenuous past with the company that Eddie works at. And very few times a year do I go. Mostly it's to see, Wicked Nemesis, because he's just so cuddly and cute. But the opportunity to see someone who pretty much is family on this show and has been on probably more times than some people we've had as co-hosts in the past, Tasha Simone. The opportunity for her to not just her by herself is one thing, but the fact that she's the representative for the NWA women's division is just is twofold. So not many reasons or things can get me to go to GCW, but to the chance to finally meet Tasha, because Eddie's worked with her, Wicked's worked with her I don't know how many times, so to finally meet Tasha face to face and not get punched in the face, I'm going to be there. Whether Tunzi will tag along or not, depends. It's what happens when you get a girlfriend. Women, who needs them? I do. But it doesn't matter, because I'm going to go out there, and if I'm willing to put my differences aside with and go see Tasha Simone, then you guys listening can get off your butts, go put, what is it, Eddie, $10?
Yeah.
Scrape up $10, maybe not buy that six-pack that you need. To, how about this? How about you get a six-pack instead of drink a six-pack, you fat tubs of goo? Go out, see Tasha Simone, see Pandora, see Blondie McBleach Streak there. Tracy Lord?
Tracy Taylor.
They've all been in porn. It doesn't matter. And old Nina Monette there. Go out there and see them. And, there might be something else entertaining. Maybe Ted Guinness will actually have a Rorschach sweat stain, and we can hold a contest to see who can come up with the most creative thought on what his sweat stains look like.
Mabo.
So there you go.
Thank you.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to. Eddie, your last call.
My dinner's ready. Mabo, shameless plugs.
MA_BO on Twitter, Facebook, Mark Bowman, Eyewitness Store, and Bob's Comics. And Bob is so mad at me every time I plug him on the show. He gets so mad, but
why?
Because he's a cranky old codger who doesn't want any help running his business. But I still love him anyway. He smells of cheap booze and coffee.
I'm going to have to drop out there and see him sometime.
Let's see. Do it. Say, man, we love advertising you on our show. Just see what he does. Creative Concepts, and other things and stuff. I don't know. I've kind of got a headache because I've been playing DC Universe all day, and I might have developed some kind of epilepsy. So Wicked, over to you. Shameless plug.
Thank you.
Well, first of all, I will have you all know that Ustream, when that Ustream video goes up to YouTube, my last call and the subsequent after that will be put up in a segment its own, because that was pretty funny.
Yeah, it was.
But Eddie and Mabo, you guys know, we don't say it often enough. Thank you guys. Thank you all. Thank you for having me on. I love doing the show. You can catch me at Wicked Nemesis on Twitter, VO, Bailey Motion.
We don't mention VO.
FunnyOrDie.com. You can edit that out. FunnyOrDie.com, and especially Facebook fan page, Blogger, Blogspot, etc. And I have a Ustream as well. Hey, Ustream, Wicked Nemesis. But go out and support local independent wrestling. Go out and support, because that is the backbone of this very industry indeed. You can catch me Wednesday night, the To Be Determined show, with the NWA Women's World Champion Tasha Simone, Joey Image, and Mad Dog Matt Denton. And of course, tonight, GCW Pro Wrestling Radio. You never know when I'll call in.
There you go.
Maybe we can bury Ted again, because that was great. I know he legitimately got mad. That's what made it really funny.
No, he didn't.
But thanks. Hey, NWA Top Rope, Tasha, the ball's in your court, August 18th.
You can find me personally at Fast Eddie Lane over on Twitter, Facebook.com/Fast Eddie Lane. The .com is actually being reworked right now, so we're going to have that back up and running, hopefully in the next couple of weeks. From that vantage point, follow at Beyond Ringside over on Twitter, Facebook.com/Beyond Ringside Live, and of course, BeyondRingside.com. The best of Beyond Ringside 24/7 does air through BeyondRingside.com. You can also find us on the Shoutcast Radio Network. You can activate the players through Real Player, iTunes, what's the damn program I'm using right now? The Lava thing. Oh, yeah, Winamp. And Windows Media Player. So there's a lot of ways that you can listen live as well as the best of. As Wicked made the reference to a minute ago, yours truly, Ted Guinness, O'Hagan, and JJ Tanner, spearheading the console as far as GCW Radio a little bit later on this evening, 9 o'clock p.m. Central, 10 o'clock Eastern. Folks, I want to thank you for joining us on the live version. Daryl, RZE Pez, to everybody who came through the chat room. Great to see y'all. To everybody who's been sending me the instant messages and the direct messages on Twitter, thank you very much. Let me lean over here and hit this little button right here, and we'll play the music and get ready to take it home. Beyond Ringside, of course, Sundays, 6:30 Eastern, 5:30 Central, 3:30 Pacific, live in all time zones. Oh, wait. I'm going to draw it for saying this, but I'm going to go ahead and say this one. First off, to the women's 4x100 relay team, kick-ass job. Great for bringing on. I saw the replay of that when they destroyed the competition in the gold medal round. To the men's 4x100 medley, just dominant performance. And I have to say this, the world will never see another Olympian like Michael Phelps. He said Michael Jordan is his role model. You could have a lot worse people to pick for your role model and your icon and your hero in any kind of business. To me, I just actually saw a few minutes of Space Jam yesterday, and I'd forgotten all about that movie. And thank you again to the folks who made Space Jam for having the Birmingham Barons team jerseys and logos all over the first part of the and the majority of the movie. I'll be back with the Barons tomorrow night at Regions Park in Birmingham, and Tuesday night at Regions Park is, of course, great AA baseball action. So forgot to get that in during shameless plugs. And thank you, Papa Sias. Thank you, Buffalo Wild Wings in Hoover. And thank you, Buffalo Wild Wings in Alabaster. Now, hitting the music all over again. It should be playing, but it's going to be a pain in the ass. All right. We're going to call it a day here at the Radio Ranch. Thank you for hanging out with us. And for everybody listening on the replays and downloading the podcast, thank you guys so much. Mabo, Wicked, thank you for all that y'all do for the show. It's always appreciated. I've got a great team around here. Also, Beyond Ringside alumni, probably getting ready to make some reappearances here on the show in the very near future. Let's take it home from Mark Mabo Bowman.
She was Zion can suck it.
For the Oracle of Ominous, the Architect of Intellect, Pro Wrestling Manager Extraordinaire, Wicked Nemesis.
August 18th.
This is the Magic City Motor Mouth, Fast Eddie Lane, saying, adios, das vidania, hasta luego, auf Wiedersehen, ciao, sayonara, adieu, arrivederci, farewell, abbassino, au revoir, and until we meet again, aloha means bye-bye. We'll see you next Sunday, 5:30 Central, as we all go Beyond Ringside. Bye for now. Mabo, tell us how you really feel about Zima Ion.
Man, I'll tell you right now, I don't know what this weird crusty stain is in front of my PC, but it's probably got something to do with protein.
Yeah, if you will, let me know if I don't see the tweet when the Ustream is up.
Okay.
I'm going to break it down. What I'm going to do, I'm going to go through all of them. Like I said, I'm going to make like little montages. And I may have one that's nothing but all the shameless plugs we've thrown out, or maybe one that's all the last calls.
Easter eggs done. We're going. Bye-bye.